Hey, this is Damian Holmes from Flappers Comedy, and you're listening to the Nostalgic Front Podcast with Patrick Hasty and Brandon Ream.
Oh shit, we don't have a theme song.
Oh shit, you're right. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, like, do we have time to buy something?
No, we just have to riff.
We're gonna just riff it? Oh shit, it's the Nostalgic Front, a podcast from Patrick and Ream. We like movies, TV, and games, junk food, juice boxes, forgotten things.
Oh wow, that was adequate.
Yeah, that was like pretty good.
Yeah, are we just gonna use it for every episode?
I think we should. I think we have to.
Thank you for listening to the Nostalgic Front. I'm Patrick Hasty.
And I am Brandon Ream.
How is it going, Brandon Ream?
Patrick Hasty, it's going fantastic.
Fantastic.
This just in.
Who's Justin?
A lot of people, some of our listeners, I bet.
Oh, several of them.
I think we've reeled in a Justin or two.
Wild Bear, Pale Bear, remember?
Oh, yeah.
He's a Justin.
He's a real NFer.
Yeah. How are you, man? What's new?
Not much.
Not much?
Nothing's new. Everything's old.
You're right. That's if stuff. If shit was new, we'd be fucked. That's a different show.
Oh man.
What you been up to? Any old stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm always up to the old stuff.
Let me hear it, baby. Guys, preach.
Oh, I watched that new Halloween movie.
Kill. Stab.
That's Friday the 13th.
Don't you ever fucking do that to me again on this
don't
show.
be so fucking wrong.
How was it?
It was fun.
Is it the one with the Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
And you liked it?
And Kenny Powers made it.
No shit.
Or it's his production company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's why there's a little bit of comedy in there.
Okay.
It's kind of weird because it'll take you out of the homicidal killing spree that's going on.
Sure,
But,
yeah.
I'd say as far as all of the remakes and reimaginings of all of the classic horrors that we grew up with from the 80s,
yeah,
I think that was the best. Not that there's much competition, because that Nightmare on Elm Street was really bad, and then Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw were pretty mediocre, but I guess this one was above average.
Sure, above average.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
And it has our Iowa boy, Tate.
Which one? Drew Tate's in it? The former quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes?
What's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Who?
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Who's Tate?
That's one of his. That's either his last name or his first name. I think it's his last
Ashton Kutcher.
No.
Elijah Wood.
You'll know the Iowa guy. Hold on. You just do your thing.
All right. I'll tell you now, I've got an apology to put out there on the podcast to you and to the listeners. I watched a movie last night called a movie that I did not want to see. A movie that I talked a lot of shit about on this very podcast called Ready Player One. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I fully enjoyed it. The thing I didn't... Okay. What I didn't realize was that they were all supposed to look dumb and goofy because it's like a video game world.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, this is them thinking it's real. Like, you know, like when you watch a movie and it's like, oh, it's all CGI, but they're supposed to look real. So I thought that kid was supposed to look like that. So I was like, this is fucking stupid. But now it's great. It's a video game world. I thought it was really fun. It had a lot of good heart. I thought it was a little too... had too much of the romance scale. I think they really kind of could have pulled back on that, and it still would have been a really good story about friendship and love and stuff without it being like, he wanted to kiss, you know?
Yeah.
But I still fully enjoyed it. Thought it was good. My wife loved it. I didn't think that was going to happen at all.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like anything retro. You know, she hates this fucking podcast if she would ever listen to it, which she never would.
Yeah, a lot of people...
What do you got? You figure out who it is? Tate?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, it is, hold on. I wasn't completely
Oh,
there.
my God. Are you kidding? Is this what the show is?
I was wrong. Toby Huss.
Oh, Toby Huss. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking
fucking Tate. Yeah, Toby Huss. He was on what's it called?
I-80.
The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
I-35.
Sure, he was on I-80, I-35. You know, probably been on Highway 69 a time or two.
Yeah.
But he was also in *Halt and Catch Fire* with our friend Nick Pupo. Fantastic actor. Good buds with Bobcat.
I'll tell you this: he doesn't make it.
Well, spoiler alert, dude.
Come
what
on.
if I wanted to watch it?
Well, you would have known from just his character archetype in the first 10 minminutes.
Yeah, that he's going out.
Yeah. He's Jamie Lee Curtis's son-in-law. So.
What? Oh, like Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Sure, I
Except
get
for
it.
Pauly Shore makes it.
The son-in-law.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. I think some other production company made it. I think that was before he was producing his own
No,
stuff.
I mean, Pauly Shore made it. He's rich.
Oh, yeah, he did it.
He gets to be at the Comedy Store. I think he went to a prom in Des Moines once. He's made it.
He went to a prom in Des Moines?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a weird guy. I hope we don't ever have to have Pauly Shore on the podcast.
I do.
I mean, it would probably get us some listens.
He's a Weasel.
He was the Weasel fucking 40 years ago.
MTV Spring Break was not 40 years ago.
Do you like that I'm coming hard at Pauly Shore on this podcast? That's my new character. I'm gonna tear down all the greats.
You know what? I was pissed. I watched that Along Comes Polly movie.
Not in it at all.
Yeah.
The whole time. And then at the very end, you're like, here we go. Post credits.
Yeah.
Nope. Still not there.
Yeah.
Goddamn. I'll tell you another thing I've been watching that I think you watched.
Jury Duty?
I've seen it.
Fun fact about Jury Duty, 12 times smellier than regular duty.
Oh, shit. I hate you so much. Another thing I watched, I think you watched it, which is new but ties in with retro, is that show Future Man.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
2 episodes.
I've seen 4.
Whoa.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the world it's in. I like how self-referential it is. It's fun. It's
and
dirty,
I like how
but
they
it's...
make the Last Starfighter reference like
immediately.
in the first 5 minutes, so they get that out of the way.
Yeah, and I love there's a part where they literally say he makes the Last Starfighter reference, but then a couple minutes later they're like, we have to go back and change things, and he's like, okay, so it's Last Starfighter meets Quantum Leap, got it. And in a way you're like, oh, I bet that's how they sold the show. They're like, oh, it's Last Starfighter meets Quantum Leap made by Seth Rogen, you know. But I thought it was really good. I like all the characters in it and stuff like that.
I like this movie. I pitched a show. It's about time traveling ninjas. There's 3 of them. It's called Quantum Leap.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I got one called Rocky.
You said we have advertising?
Oh yeah, we have we got a great guest today. What so we go to our sponsor and bring him in?
Sounds great.
All right. Hey, NFers, we have a great sponsor on the podcast this week.
Today's episode is brought to you by
friend of the show, Matt Stores.
Wait, you mean Arizona football star Matt Stores, who was featured on episode 67 of the Nostalgic Front, which you can watch a full video of on Patreon?
The very same. Him and friend of the show, Tristan Miller, have started a wonderful live comedy show called Beguiled at Idlewild.
Beguiled at Idlewild?
Beguiled at Idlewild.
What a great use of alliteration and wordplay.
And coming from you, that means a lot.
So who's on the show?
Glad you asked. The show features Otto Fernandez, Lynette Palladino, Jordan Searles, Wanjiko Eke, and Sarah Kennedy.
Wait, you mean Wanjiko Eke from episode 74 of the Nostalgic Front? And Sarah Kennedy from episode 13 and Fun Size 17, where we talk all about Xena the Warrior Princess?
You really know a lot about our podcast's back catalog.
Hey, what can I say? I'm an NFer.
You sure are. Anyways, make sure that on Sunday, February 3rd at 8 p.m., you go to Beguiled at Idlewild. That's at
Beguiled at Idlewild.
That's at 24 St. Nicholas Avenue in Brooklyn.
Wait, you mean St. Nicholas? As in Santa Claus? From episode 32 and then reran in episode 84 of the Nostalgic Front?
Your nose is bleeding.
My blood runs orange and purple, baby.
What?
It's the color of our logos.
All right, let's get back to the show.
Yes.
And we're back. Ooh, what a good commercial.
We are back.
We are back. We got these sponsored commercials, people giving us fucking money. Remember, you can give us money.
Heck yeah.
Give us $5 to our the nostalgicfront at gmail.com PayPal.
I like money.
Fucking me too, dude.
Yeah.
It's so nice when we buy we have a cord break, we can spend not out of our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make money. I don't make money.
I need get some headphones.
You need some headphones. You're using your Xbox cans right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got a fantastic guest on the show today.
Absolutely.
She's a hilarious stand-up comedian. She runs a great Twitter account called NYT Vows, which is a parody of the New York Times Vows. Also, fantastic podcast. If you're listening to our podcast, take a pause, go subscribe to hers, come back, listen to us, and then, I don't know, just stay subscribed to hers. You don't have to listen. It's called 2-Wick Minimum. You've seen her on Red Oaks on Amazon, and she has a great album called Seen Better Days, which you can get on iTunes and anywhere else you buy your comedy albums. Ladies and gentlemen, go crazy for our friend, Selena Coppock.
Hey, what an intro.
Wow, yeah. First try, right out
They
the
love
gate.
it, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Truly
Yeah.
glorious.
How are you, Selena?
I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Heck
Is that how you say it, Coppock?
Coppock.
I always had a panic as I was saying it. That might be like Kopek. And I've been wrong for fucking 5 years, you know?
Oh, I know. People, yeah, it's sort of, it's hard to tell sometimes, but yeah, Coppock.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts?
Yes,
Beantown.
Beantown, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
The main-
Isn't it weird? They drop
What?
that big fucking bean in Chicago, but then they call...
know.
That's
Oh,
not...
the metal one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That
it's
always
weird
just
and
made me think
mirrory.
of Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, yeah, that's
It was
pretty
very
cool.
shiny.
Yeah.
Why do they call Boston Beantown?
I think it's Boston baked beans.
Oh,
From,
is that a
back
thing?
in the day. Yeah.
The candy?
Yeah.
Is it?
You know what? It's a candy, but before that, it was just a bean.
Just regular beans?
Yeah, but the candy's based on that. And the candy, have you ever had Boston
Yeah,
beans
yeah,
candy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
It's the only
so
candy.
terrible.
It's the only. I don't eat beans. I do. I eat now, but I don't like beans.
You know they're not fruit and they're not magical.
Musical though.
Yeah,
Musical as hell.
they are.
But when I was a kid, so if you're from Boston, maybe you haven't been out in the fields, But farm stores like a Tractor Supply or a Tyson's or something, they are big in having there's like only like 10 candies they ever sell, and Boston baked beans was one of them.
How random.
Yeah, so it was like Boston baked beans, cinnamon gummy bears, but not regular gummy bears.
That's
Weird
bizarre.
stuff that I think like farmers who feel like they don't deserve anything don't deserve flavor.
Necco wafers, yeah.
Exactly, Necco wafers and chicken.
They're
Hydrox.
also from Boston.
Do you guys know what Chica sticks are?
No.
They're. Do you know what a Chica stick is? It's a Butterfinger without the chocolate. So it's just and it's a circle. It's like a tube.
That sounds delicious.
It is, but it's like
I love
so
Butterfingers.
much. It's just
Yeah,
so
that's a lot.
much.
And it's so much and of the same thing.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
the beauty of a Butterfinger is you have chocolate and you have that other thing.
Exactly.
So
I'm not a big Butterfinger fan, but I like Butterfinger adjacent products. You know, like a Butterfinger
Bite?
Yeah. Or the Butterfinger Dum Dum, or what are those ice cream things with the
It's.
No,
Oh, it's like an ice cream flavor. That
like a bonbon.
What are you talking about right now? I would love to know, but I'm confused.
A bonbon. It's like a little ice cream ball. It's
But
covered
it's got
in
Butterfinger in it.
butter. It's got a
like
chocolate
yeah.
shell with little pieces of Butterfinger around it.
Ooh, nice.
Do you remember Butterfinger McFlurries?
Oh yeah.
Those are really good.
Oh
I don't
my
think they do
gosh.
that no more.
No, they pulled back big time on the
Now, is that
variety.
just a New York thing, or is because in New York, like they're just like, we're not going to give you.
Yeah, we didn't even
variety.
get the fucking McRib.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
I saw everybody posting around the
Wow.
country about their McRib, and
I'm calling the cops.
Man.
yeah.
I mean, but there still is the Shamrock Shake.
Oh
right?
yeah, that fucker comes
Oh,
around
it's
every
so
year.
Good. Anything
Well,
mint, I love.
yeah,
And
of course you
Shamrock,
like that.
I'm Irish,
Shipping
yeah.
off from Boston,
I know,
you know.
exactly. I'm
all good.
legally required to be
Yeah,
Irish
yeah.
as a native of Boston.
Okay, so Boston, you grew up in the city itself?
No, in the suburbs.
What
12
suburb?
miles outside. It's a town called Weston.
Weston. Okay.
It's near like Wellesley, Waltham.
Is that how they say it? It's not like some weird name where it's actually like we say
I
Weaston or
know,
some
I
shit,
know.
right?
Yeah, there's so much of that. Oh my god.
confusing.
We went to
like Worcester.
We visited Boston when I was a teenager, and me and my brother.
Who's
found,
we? Was your mom there?
Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
And we found a street sign leading you to the town of Hyannis.
Oh,
Oh boy,
oh my god.
was
yeah,
that the
Hyannis.
joke of the weekend?
Yeah,
I
that's
bet.
good.
Yeah, Hyannis, or what is Hyannis Port is where the Kennedy compound
Yeah.
is.
That's what I was thinking. Hiatusport. I know that.
Also, it's referenced in a Boston song.
The band Boston?
Uh-huh.
More Than a Feeling?
Yeah.
No,
More than a feeling.
dancing,
Ted?
smoking. It was called Smoking. There we go.
Oh, I don't know
yeah.
that one. That's
Every
good.
song by Boston sounds the same, but it's a good sound.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
Except-
I can get down with it.
Except for the long time and the intro to it. You know, it's got that
I don't
long
know
ass
that one.
keyboard thing.
You know your Boston.
Oh
better
yeah,
than I
you
do.
really we were gonna leave it alone with the
I know,
I don't
yeah.
even know if the thing she said was right, but I was just gonna
Well, 'cause
yes and
More
it
Than
and
a
move
Feeling
on.
sounds like rock and roll band, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's just all the same tempo generally.
I love their
and
albums.
It's great.
When it was like the guitar spaceship and shit
Their-
like that.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
stuff's
Yeah,
cool.
Their
visuals are
drummer
cool.
had one of the best white guy afros
Really?
I've
Oh,
ever
sure.
seen.
And that's
And his name was Curly Smith.
Curly.
Had to have been a nickname.
We got to bring Curly's back, you know? Yeah, I've met a Curly in 20 years, you know? Growing up in Boston. Okay, you're in. So if you're in the burbs, how often were you going to the city itself? Like, how far was the city?
It's like 12 miles away.
Okay, yeah, so not bad.
So my dad worked in the city.
Okay.
We would go in fairly often just for like to go to the aquarium or go to plays.
Oh, cool. So you had like art and culture and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah. My
And-
mom's really into that stuff.
But then how big is Weston? Was there like...
Weston's very small. It's like 11,000 people.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's where a lot of like Red Sox players and Patriots players
cool.
live.
Oh, is it like
yeah,
fancy?
It's kind of schmancy.
Ooh, are you rich?
I
Did
mean,
you grow up rich? I'm sure you're not now as a grown up
Honestly-
living in New York, but...
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I feel like I grew up very like upper middle class.
Cool.
But I do think Weston's a very wealthy
The rest of it is,
town.
yeah.
But how my parents raised me and my sisters was very much like, you know, you start working very young.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Our money is our money. You
That's
know,
good.
like,
That's good, yeah.
and there was enough anxiety about money around the house that like I never
Sure.
felt like I was growing
Yeah.
up.
I grew up
What'd you-
poor, so I have a real respect. I have to really like gauge how I respect anybody with any amount of money more than I do.
Yeah.
But that sounds okay. That sounds good. You know that they made you get jobs and
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
like just work ethic like crazy.
What was
you
your
got-
first job?
that. Oh yeah. Good
Oh,
question.
first job. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm having a problem with your parents.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
My sister Laurel and I just really wanted to work, and there was a farm in my town
Hell yeah.
called Green Power, and it was a farm, but then also when you pick the stuff, then you could sell it at this little, they had like a booth like in the center of town.
Like a market, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like pretty cool to do because it just like was there on the town green.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
It was kind of, we were like, whoa, how could we do that?
Yeah.
And so we got, as like two little kiddos, it was us and a bunch of like migrant laborers.
Yeah.
And we went to work on this farm, and we would pick corn.
You were doing the
basil.
picking and everything?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
this is the
We
greatest.
pick all morning and then load up Mr. McElwain's truck. I mean, it sounds so like,
Yeah.
but then load it up, ride in the back of the truck to the Weston Center, and then my sister Laurel and I would sell it. And
That's
so
great.
I was
Did you?
I was so young.
So when you're out in the fields, were you picking it off the stalks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're so little, I don't know. But like, do you remember what it felt like?
I just remember it being really rough on your hands.
Okay, so I did this probably a lot more than you because I would do it in the summers. Because now I don't know if you know this, Ream, but if you have a combine, which is a big piece of machinery, those fuckers drive out in the fields and then they do all this for you. It like picks the corn, takes it off the all that kind of stuff. But if you're poor, you just do like what Selena was talking about, and that's what I used to have to do. And if I start thinking about it, I get phantom pains in my hands right here from breaking it off. And it's like, and I can like every once in a while, like if I see a picture of like a nice cornfield sometimes, and I'll just start feeling like I got a bruise brewing. And it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy. I like that. I like that like real work ethic though.
Oh, I know. I mean, we joke around in my family. We're like, Coppocs are hard workers. Like,
Sure.
we used to have a 2-week break during college for like spring break.
Yeah.
And I would go back to like the Gap of the high school where I worked when I was in high school and just be like, hey, can I pick up some shifts for 2 weeks? And my dad was like, Selena, you don't have to do this.
That's funny.
And
yeah.
I was like, I just can't not work.
Oh, that's great.
So you worked at the Gap. Did you have to work hard to get that job, or did you just kind of fall into it?
There it is. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You got a
I'm
mind.
so literal. I was like, I'll be honest with you. You just fill out an application.
You go online. I want to go back to when you were a little kid. You said you got a sister.
2 sisters.
Two
Yeah,
sisters.
I'm the youngest of 3 girls.
You're the youngest. Oh, okay. I'm the youngest, and then you were the youngest, but then more came along.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we all got that same brain.
Mm-hmm.
Older sisters,
Yes.
right? And then so how much older than you are they?
Laurel's 3 years older than me, and Emily's 3 years older than her.
Laurel, Emily, and Selena.
Yes.
Okay, I can see that.
That's the perfect age between all of them.
I know, it was great. So like for each of us, when I was in high school, Laurel was a senior when I was a freshman, and Laurel and Emily had the same thing.
That's great.
It's kind of neat, but it did introduce me culturally to like, I feel like I was listening to like Depeche Mode and stuff that was a little older than my contemporaries. 'Cause I was like, well, my sisters were listening to this.
Sure. Because you get everything passed down in like that kind of a way, and also that distance is probably good enough where there wasn't a ton of animosity. Maybe when you're like fighting and stuff like that, because it's like you get your own little world, but you're also still connected.
Yeah, it was sort of ideal. It wasn't like you're right on top of each other and like running in the same social circles, but it wasn't so separated.
Yeah,
that,
like my brother is 8 years older than me, and we were like, I think Albert Kirchner had a joke about our relationship was strictly business. Like that was it. Yeah, okay, so that's cool. So you guys are growing up. What was your shit when you were a little kid? Like, what were you into when you were little? Like, it's Saturday morning and it's 10 a.m. You wake up. What do you want? Do you want to watch TV? You want to listen to music? You want to watch a movie? What do you got?
Saturday morning cartoons for
sure. Okay. What was your shit?
I don't know if you remember. There was a brief, short-lived cartoon of the New Kids on the Block.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Oh my!
And I think they had a dog added to the mix too because it was a cartoon.
God, and what
like a tour dog.
Oh no, that was Jordan. He didn't give likeness rights. So it's like Bill Belichick and Madden,
That's not true.
No.
I bought Jordan action figure for my sister.
Oh yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Was it Jordan
trading cards?
Yeah. So
they were huge.
They were like the biggest
So when I had to
export
play
out of Boston.
Barbie with my sister, I'd be like, "Well, I'm taking Jordan because he's got way better clothes than Ken."
Sure. Yeah.
Jordan.
So who was the New Kids? There was Jordan.
Yeah, there was. Well, Donnie was the bad boy.
Donnie
Oh, yeah.
and
Joey was the baby.
Joey.
Donnie had the rat tail mullet.
Yes. Oh my
And
god.
It was like too thick for a rat tail, too thin for a mullet.
Yeah.
And just like
that was my nickname in high school.
I just get a kick out
Too
of
thick.
their music videos are so great to go back and watch
I know.
because you can tell that it's like they're trying so hard to sell Donnie as the bad guy.
Yes. I
Well,
know.
isn't Donnie? That's
Or Bad
Donnie,
Boy.
That's Donnie Wahlberg, right? That's
Yes.
Mark's
Yeah.
brother.
Mhm.
Yeah, they
There's a
broke.
ton of Wahlbergs.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the Funky
then
Bunch.
Marky Mark happened after.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I realized that.
I gotta say,
But-
in Weston, in most of Boston, everyone loved New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
But in Weston, I think it's because of the snobbery. It was people, I think, just looked down on it and like, or they enjoyed it ironically.
Sure.
And I remember, I think I enjoyed it ironically, and I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah,
I was like, I
yeah.
don't really like this, but I don't hate it. Like,
Yeah.
you
It was-
know?
My favorite is Step by Step.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Because they have that part in the middle where they all do like their own.
Step one.
What?
Yeah.
We can have lots of fun.
So dumb.
Yeah.
It's like he's supposed to be like the bass
Yeah.
singer, but he's just like somebody
Yeah.
doing a deep voice.
I know.
Like he's
I
trying to be
know.
like trying to like scare kids away. He's like, go away.
Yeah. There's a dog in here.
Did any of them fuck up? Did any of them like? I mean, because like they're back.
No.
They still play music together and stuff like that.
Yes.
But like, did they
I
all
think
turn
they all
out
have
okay?
a clean record. I know
good.
Joey
They
did
do.
like he was all like Christian dub.
Ooh, weird.
Really?
I think.
But maybe that
Joey?
was part of his stigma then, right?
The
Was
little,
he was the sweet
littlest
boy.
one.
Yeah, he was
I
like a
think
good
so.
boy.
I know he like gets it. He's done some online sketches and stuff.
Yeah.
Where he's very like in on the joke. Like he seems like a
They've-
guy with a good sense of humor.
They've had plenty of comebacks too. Like they've
Yeah.
never really left.
I know. I mean,
Like,
and
they
toured
have
with-
their- yeah,
they
they
did
have-
a Backstreet Boys tour and
Yeah.
KOT BSB, which
Yeah.
I went to.
That's so funny.
Amazing concert.
Yeah?
I mean, and it was brilliant. Like they're both groups are a little bit older, so like new kids would come out, bang out 3-4 songs.
Yeah.
Backstreet's just chilling backstage, and then like switcheroo. So like the show's always moving, but they both are doing half the work.
It'd be
you
so
know?
funny if
And-
it's like if NKOTB comes out, does a
Uh-huh.
couple songs, BSB comes out, and then they all come out and do a couple NSYNC songs, and the fucking room goes crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
They throw in like a all for one song, and everybody fucking
That'd be
creams their
hilarious.
pants.
It's just
That'd
so
be great.
funny seeing New Kids on the Block being like the beta version of the bigger ones that came a decade later.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like they can't sing as well and they
No.
can't dance as well. I'm sure
No.
they may. I mean, they sold just as well, if not.
Yes.
They probably did better.
They probably
But
did
I bet
better.
they had a worse contract. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh
And
They
yeah,
probably made
that
less.
one guy. What's his name?
Oh yeah, that guy.
I want to say
from
Ron
Florida?
Perlman.
It's not
but-
Ron Perlman. We talked about
not.
it. We
No, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was something Perlman, right? Or
Was it
this
maybe
Florida
Lou
guy who's dead now?
Lou Perlman.
Lou
Yes,
Perlman?
yeah.
Yeah, he did it all.
Isn't
He had New Edition.
And we know
No,
him.
no, he didn't have New Edition.
Oh, he
Morgan
didn't?
Starr did. No, New Edition
Oh.
because they were a Boston group.
But
But they got screwed. New Edition
Yeah.
got
Well,
screwed.
they all did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what the music industry was.
yeah, especially for 5 kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, sign this piece of paper. You don't know what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
well, a lot of those just be people are like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get signed!" And
Yeah.
Yeah.
every time, I mean, I watched so many behind the musics, and that's what it
Yes.
is.
I
is
still. That's
they
still
get
all.
their break,
Yeah.
they sign the contract, and then they're the biggest band in the world, and they're like, "Oh, we can't make."
And then they come off tour and they're like, I'm broke.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, yeah, everything you enjoyed on tour was like part of the payment, you know, like.
That's still how I think. Like I still am just waiting for somebody to be like, "We're gonna sign you," and I'm like, "Here we go." Like,
Yeah.
I want that. That's still. I feel like Lou Pearlman's gonna just show up any day and give me a music contract from my band from 20 years ago or 15 years ago.
Everybody's first manager was horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Man, what's it like to have a manager?
Oh God, yeah, please.
I'll take one.
Yeah, my agent sucks right now. They're not doing anything for me because they're a fucking real estate agent, and they also don't work for me.
Yeah.
There's NKOTB. So my sister liked him, whatever. She was in that thing. And then you guys remember fucking Rico Suave, that
Oh,
guy?
yeah.
Oh,
Giardo?
yeah.
Yes. So in
I only
my,
remember him from a Beavis and Butthead.
you don't remember when that was the thing? Oh my God. So we would go to my grandma's house because we didn't have cable, and so we would
Oh,
go to
neither did I.
we would go to my grandma's house and watch like MTV or whatever. And I remember the day they maybe they didn't debut it, but it was one of the first times I ever saw that Rico Suave video, and I was like 4, and I remember being like, NKOTB's the past. This is the future. Everybody's got. And so my sister went hard into. She was like, got his poster and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's so
Wow.
weird.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
so
We
weird.
used to have New Kids on the Block would do, or we had a fake New Kids on the Block band that would show up at the skate rink.
Like a cover band, or like lip
cover
sync?
a cover dance
Oh,
band
Whoa.
of people wearing New Kids on the Block clothes.
that's
Oh,
fun.
wow.
They did
That's
that.
kinda
They did
cool.
Vanilla Ice. Like our skating
Yeah.
rink would just hire these fake kids to show up and
That's
dance.
so weird.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so weird. And also, I'm sure like illegal as far as copyright goes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
like,
nobody was looking back then. Before
Yeah.
before you could put it on the internet,
They're
nobody gave
probably
a
like
shit.
New Kids on the Block.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a Sublime on one of the first Sublime album. There's like a hidden track where they thank a bunch of people, and it's like a beat, and it's like that Bradley Noel being like, "Hey, we want to say thanks to
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah blah," and he thanks NKOTB in it, and he says it like that. He's like, "I want to say thanks to NKOTB and Coast to Make," and I'm just like, what did New Kids on the
that
Block do for
connect?
Sublime? Yeah. And I maybe it's well documented on the internet, but I like not knowing. You know,
Wow.
I like
They
thinking
gave him
that they were.
Rudog. Lou Dog.
Lou Dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That
They
was
named
the
him
dog
after
from
Lou
the cartoon.
Pearlman. They named him after Lou Pearlman. Oh boy, what if that's it?
I do love those weird band connections.
Yeah.
Like Guns N' Roses was really instrumental in what was it? Evan Dando was it? Or no, what was it? Oh no, who was the guy who was it? The lead singer of Sublime who like OD'd? As
Yeah,
soon
he
as-
OD'd. Bradley Noel.
Axl Rose was like tight with him.
Oh,
I believe.
no.
And he
Yeah,
was
that
in
makes
some
sense.
of the he was in their video for
Sure.
Like it's just like a strange friendship. You know,
There's Tommy Lee is the drummer on Jack's Mannequin's first album. Well, Jack's Mannequin is like there was something corporate. They're like totally like pop punk from like the 2000s, and then he made a solo album, Jack's Mannequin. The lead singer Andrew McMahon, and the drummer on it's Tommy Lee, which is the craziest shit. It's
I
like
love
if you
that.
put if you put like the guy from Fall Out Boy with like fucking Nikki Sixx or something. And you're like, whoa, wait, what? How
also,
did these?
I love Tommy Lee. I've been to a Motley Crue in concert actually, just once, twice. And like I just, oh man, it's so stupid when he gets in the cage and goes upside down. Like I love it.
That's
I
one
like
thing.
his. It's a good fun hate watch. Is anything that's Methods of Mayhem.
Oh yeah.
His new metal rap metal band. that,
I fucking loved that album.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, I loved it.
It was also one of those where he just like showed up one day and then was able to like force himself onto the main stage at Ozfest and stuff.
God.
He's
Just because of his, pretty much because of his boat driving clout.
his big rod, his big ass hog that steered that boat.
I want a relationship like him and Pam.
Yeah.
I do. I used to say on Tinder, I was like, I'm just a Pam looking for my Tommy Lee. And a lot of guys were like, what do you mean by that? I was like, get a clue.
I just want to be able to. I just want to be able to fight Kid Rock at a party. I think that'd be the best thing.
Oh
you know?
yeah, man.
That'd be good. Okay, so you were talking about the cartoon. What was the? Do you guys remember the premise of the NKOTB cartoon?
I can't remember if they had adventures.
I assume they were solving
They probably
crimes.
had
I know, I feel like
mysteries
they
in
always
between
do solve
shows.
crimes, yeah.
you
Like
know?
the All-Star or the baseball Super All-Stars game, you know, and the California Raisins had a cartoon at that time.
Yes. Oh, I was into
Gem.
them too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gem?
Gem and the holograms I love.
Yeah.
and the Misfits.
Yeah. Just the other day, someone was saying, they're like, the Misfits are better than Gem. Just accept it. And
Yeah,
I'm like, I
for
don't
sure.
know. I kind of
I'm on board.
Yeah.
I had
Well, I
a
don't know. I mean, they influenced a lot of like early thrash bands, and then Danzig had a good solo
Eat
career.
shit. You know what we're talking about. The Gem I had as a kid, I had a little, it was a pink Gem guitar with like plastic strings, like you wouldn't tune, and I would fucking all the time. And I mean, my parents, there's a lot of things that I could probably be like, maybe we should have thought about this. But I actually commend them on not being all gendery, being like, we can't let him play with that pink guitar.
Yeah, totally.
Because that got me into music.
Because it was 80s metal, and you could be androgynous.
I guess that, I bet you that's
You know,
part of
that's
it.
what it was.
Eyeliner.
Yeah.
That's probably part of it.
But that's great. That is nice because it
Yeah.
is so gendered. And I will say another thing that I loved when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Barbie dolls.
Sure.
And that stuff, I mean, it's just like shoved down little girls' throats,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and it's so pink.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's
Well, they
the thing.
just now started to get out of boy toy, girl toys
Yeah.
at like the drive-throughs and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? So it's just,
Yeah, like
And-
they can't say, "Do you want a boy girl
Yeah.
toy?"
Yeah.
Can't say that right now,
I
but
gotcha.
Yeah.
and they have to say, "Do you want a Hot Wheel or a Barbie?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Wow.
that I think about a lot too, because my niece is very girly. Like she's like wants to be a princess. She loves Barbies and stuff. But like, and that's there's a thing like I don't know the politics of it, but like I do not think you shouldn't force all that pink stuff on people. But if that's what somebody's inclined to like, just like if a little boy's inclined to like that, or if a little girl's inclined, I think you like every once in a while it's the whole thing. It's like we need to smash all of the pink stuff, and it's like, well, no, some people that's their thing. You just need to make sure that they're allowed to like
Sometimes
whatever
I
they
want
want.
to play with Ken and then come home from the office and talk about it with my sister.
Yeah, exactly.
You
No. Yeah, you get Jordan, you bring him over and stuff.
Also, it's always be pretty funny when I was playing with my 4-inch GI Joe, and she's like a
Yeah.
10-foot tall
Yeah.
doctor lady.
Yes.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, it speaks to the whole question of like nature, nurture, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like our little, like, was I obsessed with Barbies because that's what all my friends were playing with and that's
Yeah.
the ads that were, catered to me? Or did I just genuinely, like, if I had my druthers and I could have had anything, because I also had, Transformers.
Sure,
you
sure,
know?
sure, yeah.
And like I had a bowl cut. I mean, I looked like a little weird boy.
Well, that's what I think is being a youngest child. Maybe that's part of it and stuff like that. But I of course like there was a lot. I'm not saying like there was a lot of be a man, be a boy. You play with guns and GI Joes and stuff. But also I watched every Care Bear episode. I watched My Little Ponies. I knew about all that stuff. And so like, and I think that might have been a little more because I was the youngest and I had more free reign where I was alone and everybody else is off doing stuff.
That's interesting.
You know?
It's also like why it was hard for the guy that invented GI Joes to sell G.I. Joes initially because they're like, oh, boys don't play with dolls.
Yeah. And that's why they came up with the whole action figure toy.
Yeah, and now decades later, G.I. Joe's one of the biggest toy lines in history.
And it's ironic. I mean, it's funny that like the issue is that boys don't play with dolls, whereas when you were saying that, I was like, oh, because it was too violent for children. It's like, no, that's not the issue.
Yeah, no. They're all right.
It's fine.
War and death and destruction.
But I do, I mean, it seems like boys and girls should be watching My Little Ponies and Care Bears because they're kids.
Yeah.
Like kids don't need to be like, oh, here's this thing you're going to throw at your enemy to kill him. They should just be watching stuff that's
what I loved about when Christmas came this year. I was asking my nephews and nieces what they wanted for Christmas, stuff like that. And my nephew loves Legos. Oh yeah. And so I got him a hookup, but it was cool because it was like he wasn't like I have to have Star Wars in this, but I can't have like he got the LOL kitty, but then he also got a Star Wars and he got like the whole gamut because he doesn't give a shit. Exactly. He just wants to play with the thing he wants to play with.
Yeah,
and
they just like to build
to
stuff.
him, it's all the same thing. Yeah, and I like that a lot.
I know it's nice that there are toys like that. And man, Legos was one I loved as a kid too. So much fun.
Were you? Because I'm just wondering because you're the same.
Legos are like little kid crack too. You're never gonna have enough.
I know.
Yeah.
And especially if there's all these weird ones where you could have a door frame, and it's like, oh my god, I can build that.
And I never the trend that my nephew Cedar, what he does is he just opens it up, gets the directions, and makes the thing. And I was never that way. But I think that might have been just because we were poor, because we never had we just had a box with all the sets or whatever.
Yeah.
But so I was always making random shit, and it was cool. But like when I was playing Legos with my nephews, I'm like, hey, look at this cool thing I made, which looked kind of cool. And they're like, yeah, but we're making the Millennium Falcon.
See, I liked doing both of those where you take you get like the pirate play set, and then all of a sudden you're building like jet engines from your
like a space pirate or something.
And
almost,
now I got like and there's a shark head on the top of it too.
I like that. Were you ever? So we were talking about dolls and stuff like that. Were you ever into Cabbage Patch Kids? Was that a thing in your house?
Yeah, I was. Yes,
that was because
we had a few of those.
My sister, and I think this is a very a real trend with some kids. My sister got a Cabbage Patch every year on her birthday. She was obsessed with them. She loved it. I think she got them until she was 30. My mom got her a Cabbage Patch every year on her birthday. And they were all in the storage, still in the boxes and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But I ripped the head off the first one when I was 3. Not when I was 22 and pissed or something, but when I was 3, I ripped the head off. And it was a big deal because it was a good one. It was special. It was her first one.
Oh, no.
And I seriously, when I was 3, I did that. And I was dealing with that until I was in my late teens. They were like, yeah, well, you fucked up the Cabbage Patch. And I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that's so
yeah,
sad
I know. I
that
cut
was
the toe off my sister's Cabbage Patch, and she forgave me.
Yeah, well,
I feel lucky that I had only sisters. Yeah, we respected each other's Cabbage Patch dolls.
For sure, yeah.
Oh my god, and Barbies too. I had friends who would cut their Barbies' hair, and I was like, "What are you doing?" I couldn't believe it. I felt so destructive.
That's why you can get replacement heads. Pretty easily.
Really?
It seems so creepy.
Yeah, you gotta really be
the works in the head industry. Yeah.
Also,
we got a clog in the head shoot.
You go to the store.
Gotta lead on some replacement heads.
You go to the store to buy that. You got to be a certain person. You can't I can't walk into the store and be like, "Can I get 19 Barbie heads, please?"
White. Because you have to specify.
Yeah.
You don't want
blonde hair. I don't want some mid shit.
Yeah. I did have, and listeners, of course, know this. I had 7 My Buddies. So that was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Those fuckers are big. You're only supposed to have
big,
1.
Right?
I had 7.
Yeah, why?
That's more like my posse.
Yeah, seriously.
But I would
my basketball team, man, with extras.
Yeah. I would get I would go to because we were always, when I was a kid, always at Goodwills or Salvation Armies or garage sales, and I would get baby clothes, and I would buy new clothes to put on my.
Oh, you're my
and it
buddy.
It was stuff I got him I had a cool Batman shirt, so I got a cool Batman shirt for one of my buddies and stuff like that. And so that was the thing that I was into for a couple years, and that's one of those things that I'm like, my parents shouldn't have had a problem with it, oh, he's playing with dolls, but they should have had it oh, he's manipulating people, he's gonna murder folks, but they never.
7 My Buddies.
7, yeah, it was crazy.
A lot.
It was a lot.
Do you have them together, all lined up?
Yeah, and I had my best friend. One was his PJ, Patrick Jr., and he was the he's the one I got when I was a little kid. I got him when I was born, or 2nd or 2, and then I got another. It was years before I got another one. So I got one when I was born. And I got another one 5 years later. And then it was just a summer where I started collecting them because I'd get them at Goodwills. And that was my thing, was you get $5, you can go into this thing, buy whatever you want. And it was I could buy 10 of these G.I. Joe toys when I already have 1,000 G.I. Joes, or buy 1 My Buddy. And so then I just had a hierarchy. And I have one photo I have one photo on. I think I've posted it on our Instagram before.
I was like,
of
you
Christmas
got to
morning.
TBT
Yeah,
that stuff. Oh
and
my
it's
God.
it's all of them lined up because I put them all on the couch for like Christmas morning, and they're all sitting on the couch,
Shut up.
and I'm like sitting there with the GI Joe headquarters in front of me, and they're just all behind me.
Oh
fucking
my God,
looking.
that is
Yeah.
the creepiest thing
Yeah,
I've ever heard.
and this was also before I ever knew anything about Chucky or any of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Chucky promptly ruined
Yeah.
my buddy dolls for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Where'd you store your Barbies
The
at?
Barbies?
Yeah.
Oh.
You just have a giant tote?
About 45 degrees, humidified.
No, I mean, I had the house where we grew up. I had a pretty big bedroom, and I had a Barbie dream house and a Jeep. I mean,
Ooh,
like,
nice.
the Jeep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
okay,
like
so the
only-
Jeep that you drove yourself, right?
No.
Oh,
No,
not
I've
the
seen
Power
those.
Wheel.
No, I
Okay,
didn't have
okay.
a Power Wheel. I had
My
a
sister
cozy
had an
coupe.
off-brand dream house.
Okay, nice.
That would also become a battle center for GI Joes, but it had an
Yeah.
elevator, and that was pretty
Yes.
dope.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is so
And
cute.
we would always use the those little things that come in pizza to keep the
Oh, the
top
little
of the
table.
box?
Yeah.
They're like a little
That's
table.
end tables
Yes,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Pizza end tables.
I know, it's
just
so
like
weird.
the biggest furniture in the house.
Yeah, and
Just-
yeah.
We
Yeah.
need an end table in the bathroom.
Yeah, like a normal house. Yeah, just
I like that.
replicating that. But yeah, I had just all my shiz in my bedroom, but it was like so much. And then if I'd go to my best friend Suzanne's place and like I'd bring my Barbies, like
Yeah, you
there's
get
a
them all
lot of
together.
Barbie moving around.
That's
too.
how we were that's how I felt with my Ninja Turtles. It was like if I'm going to my cousin Dustin's house, it's like, all right, you got to pack a bag. I got like
Yeah.
I no clothes. I don't fucking care about that. All my turtles, you got to get a vehicle in there because I have vehicles. I have vehicles. He has vehicles.
Yeah.
But I want to bring the ones I have, so I'm not going to bring the doubles.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes it was really cool. Like if I was going over there for the full weekend, so 2 nights to stay the night, I would disassemble the turtle sewer and then like put it in a bag and take it over there and reassemble it because at home it was like, why would I ever take this apart? It's the greatest thing I own.
It's kind of funny how many of these, quote unquote, girl toys are about brushing hair.
Yeah.
When like that hair doesn't tangle.
I know it really doesn't.
It's just,
And
there's
it's
no
just
reason
so
to
much-
brush.
Yeah, and for me, it was like I felt like I was just such a little girly girl,
Mhm.
and like even though I felt like my dad would like take me on nature hikes, and
Yeah.
I think he was trying to be like balance it out, but I just love the clothing too.
Yeah.
Like it was
Thing
all
i-
about costume changes.
Thing is about Barbie, there's no way she can be great at any of those things. She does too many things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's supposed to
Pick
too thin.
something, Barbie.
But
and
hey, as a
and stick with
fucking
it.
dude right now living in the world, I get that.
I mean,
You're writing this thing, you're working on that.
She's a
you start
doctor.
this, you're
She's
Barbie
a doctor,
prepared me for stand-up.
and she
Yeah.
works at McDonald's. I think there is a stand-up Barbie,
oh
my
yeah,
gosh,
oh that's great.
That would be
like
amazing.
Night at the Improv Barbie.
Oh my
I'm
god,
pretty sure.
I think that's real too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
That
I've
would
Yeah.
be
seen that.
amazing.
Well,
That's
I
so
mean,
funny.
that's what these toy companies have to do, and Barbie's one of the biggest ones with the
Yeah. Oh, they
army of collectors out
Yeah.
there.
I thought it was
so they
smart.
just keep cranking out all the
All these different,
Yeah.
The smartest thing I thought Barbie ever did was when Mattel or whatever the company was when they started creating all the extras, all the other people.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, in her world. Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
There's Ken, Midge.
yeah.
Kimler?
Skipper,
Skipper.
Stacy,
Mm-hmm.
because as a fan of like the Turtles and like even just looking at it from a sheer marketing sense, money sense, well, of course I wanted them all. You got to collect.
Exactly. You have
So
to
it's so
collect
weird
all
for
of them.
years. It was just Barbie, and then they would do other versions of Barbie.
Yeah.
And they
And I'm
took
like-
forever to even bring in Ken.
Yeah, it took them a while. Yeah.
I always got a kick out of Ken's flesh-colored whitey tighties
Oh yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you could see the his underwear
Yeah.
on him, but you couldn't. Like
What
it
a
had
weird
the
guy.
ripples
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the waistband of his undies.
It was
How
yeah,
strange.
that was always weird. Like there was always a lot of just like whenever you're at a girl's house playing, like when you're a kid, just like a bunch of naked dolls everywhere,
Yeah.
and you're like 7, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck is happening
I
right now.
know,
That's
yeah.
not what it's supposed to look like. I hope
And
Yeah.
she's like pretty busty.
Yeah,
Like
that's what they did. This was a couple years ago, but somebody wrote an article about what she would
she's,
look like as a real
physically
person.
impossible.
Yeah, it'd be
'cause her
impossible.
waist is
Yeah,
so
Well, I
teeny.
heard that it's so they can wear clothes better. The clothes
well,
fit.
so the clothes look better on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, totally.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
that's just not real. Like I
I
don't know.
know. And like literally her feet were frozen in a high heel position.
Mhm,
Like
yeah.
It's
gross.
Like just what lessons are you teaching girls?
And it's
you
probably
know?
it's funny too because that I think about that. I watched that show. It's a great show on Netflix. The
Yeah.
Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? It's
Oh, it's really great.
It's fucking great, and it's produced by the
I
guy.
want them. I want to see that about. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, it's produced by the guy that does. He's one of the main guys at Comedy Dynamics, and it's like his like passion project is like toys.
Yeah.
And they'll do a full episode. It's on Netflix. They'll do a full episode about like the Turtles or about Transformers or whatever.
Legos and Barbie.
Yeah,
too.
and it's one of those things where you know that like the way their feet are, like that becomes such a thing. It's like, well, why do they have
what?
But I bet it's just because of the molding. It was cheaper to do it that way, and if they did them like this, it looked fucked up or something,
Yeah. And well, because I remember, like, it was because she has these cool ass high heels you could buy, and like I loved the full outfit. You know?
Yeah.
But then, one of them, there was like an imitation Barbie, and she was flat-footed, and everyone's like, "Yuck,
get the fuck
Like,
out!"
bleh.
That was always the worst.
You know what freaked me out about Barbies is the knees, where it sounds like you're breaking her leg.
Yeah.
You know, because they all snapped into place so she could sit, however.
I know.
You'd have to grab the
like,
fucker and be like, clack, clack, click.
Yeah.
I don't think I even knew Barbie's knees bent.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's wild. I was never,
it's definitely like being at a seafood restaurant.
I dated a girl in high school or high school who she was the way my sister was, where she always got a cabbage patch. She got a Barbie every year, and she had her bed, and she came from money, and you went into her she had her nice bedroom, but then you open the door, like this door opens to the hall and you go to the hall, but you open this room and it's like should be a closet, but instead it's her Barbie room.
Oh wow.
And it was, I mean, I had 7 my buddies, but this was scary.
Yeah.
Like you just see them all on the thing, and there's like all the sets, and it's like all of a sudden you're in a Barbie display at a store.
My friend's mom had some old ass Barbies that were like intimidating.
The old ones, yeah.
Because they were like
they're very severe looking. Like the face itself is kind of like
still look better than the new Barbies.
Yeah. You don't like the new Barbie look?
The brat influenced Barbies that are now.
Oh, yeah.
Different.
Brats in general
Brats?
are so like it's like what if a 7-year-old wanted to fuck? You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so,
yeah.
Like, I find them so gross.
I just listen to I listen to true crime podcasts, and I was listening to one where obviously it was terrible. It was this little girl went missing, and it didn't work out. It didn't turn out good. But at one point, her mom's like, and so, we go to her grave every once in a while and we leave, a new Bratz doll or something. And I'm like, oh, that's People's Touchstone. That weird, horny doll that we saw commercials for.
I got that.
That looks like a cat with makeup on.
That Monster High is pretty cool, though.
I remember Monster High. Yeah, that's cool. It's like gothy, neat stuff, right? Like Frankenstein-y and stuff.
Goth Barbie.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. That is nice.
Especially for all the weirdo kids out there. Something to relate to.
I know. I mean, years ago, I was a children's editor for Barnes & Noble Corporate.
Whoa.
And it was a cool job, but the buyers would often talk about like, trying to get away from it being so like for boys and for girls.
Yeah,
they were trying to like buy product for little goth kiddos.
Yeah, that's cool.
Not necessarily goth kiddos, but kids who didn't like, primary colors or pink purple princess, but just like something for a little melancholy kiddo,
Yeah. And I think just from hanging out with my nephews and stuff like that today schools like high school today is a lot different than we were there because like emo and goth and like nerd culture and stuff is so popular now that's more of a like if you were to see somebody walking down the hall dressed gothy, that's like more of the norm.
It's like,
exactly.
Well, nerd culture is culture.
Yeah,
now,
exactly. Yeah.
So it's like now it's sort of flipped on its head because it seems like if you play football, maybe you're suddenly the weirdo.
But I don't know. I think that's what I don't know. At least in these small things that I've seen, I don't think so because it just in turn is like just somebody who is that way, like a jock is just really good friends with somebody who's gothy, And if you don't like somebody, it's because of the amount of their character, not because of what they look like,
Yeah, I know. It's like when we went to school, it was the first act of the Breakfast Club, and now, now it's the monologue at the end.
Fuck yeah,
maybe.
Throw that fist up in the air, baby.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Okay, so all right. So what about other things? Were you watching movies when you were a kid? What was your favorite TV? You ever break a tape because you watch it so much?
You know what? I rented nearly every single weekend from the Chorus Line video rental store.
Ooh,
was Troop Beverly Hills.
Oh yeah.
Do you
That's
guys
great.
remember that movie?
Yeah,
Shelley Long.
Yeah. Shelley Long.
That was her
obsessed with
first
that
post Cheers
Yeah, that was supposed to be her big
venture,
thing.
wasn't it?
And
she was so beautiful.
Jenny Lewis is in that when she was a little girl.
There's a ton of people.
I don't know if you guys are Rilo Kiley fans, but I guess Jenny Lewis fans is really what I should be saying. But she just put out a new album. Dropped a new album this week.
Oh, wow.
And the cover, Jenny Lewis, beautiful woman. The cover is just a very busty photo of her, and so Tommy McNamara tweeted out like, "New Jenny Lewis." I didn't even know, and so I go to listen to it and open it on my Spotify at work, and it's just a giant photo of like just a gorgeous woman just popping out of her dress, and I'm just like, this is just art, but come on, what are we doing? Everybody at work thinks I'm a pervert right now for listening to good music, But she was great. She was in that movie.
Yes, yeah.
Glad I got that
I know, way to bring it
antidote
back.
on the podcast.
I know. I'm glad.
But yeah, I watched that a lot. My sister loved that one.
And Big Business. Do you remember
No.
Big Business? It was Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin.
Is that the one with?
Where they're like, I think that's the one where they're switched at birth. They're twins.
Oh no. What's the one with Bette Midler and Blossom? That's the one.
Oh, I loved Beaches.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blossoms character. Have you ever seen Beaches?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is that's the one that's got one of her big songs with it, right?
Yes, Wind Beneath My Wings.
Yeah.
Which is like, ugh. It's like too bad that was.
It's No the Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Wasn't
know.
there a movie with Stella called Stella that she was in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good memory.
Yeah.
That one didn't do very well, but yeah, Stella was. I really like that.
You know, a really fucking hilarious, underrated Bette Midler project is Ruthless People.
That's
really
I
good.
don't think I've
Nobody
ever seen that one, but I remember seeing
It's
it.
got one of the funniest scenes in history with Bill Pullman, and he just plays one of the dumbest guys ever during a ransom exchange.
Who made Ruthless People? Is that
it's the guys that did Airplane.
Oh, really? Okay.
God, Airplane.
Airplane's great.
Yeah, we
Or
watched
one
a
of
lot.
the Zucker.
One of the Zucker guys?
Either one of the Zuckers or one of the Abrams or two of the
Both,
three.
yeah.
Or maybe even three of the three did Ruthless People, but it's great. It's
I feel like I know
Danny
of it.
DeVito's just a shitty dude, and his wife's Bette Midler, and she gets kidnapped by Judge Reinhold and
I
his
love
wife, and they hold her for ransom, and he's just like, meh.
Who gives a shit?
She sucks anyways, and then they get mad because they can't. It's good.
That sounds
That's great.
I don't know.
Overlooked 80s comedy for sure.
I think USA, because we got cable, we got satellite when I was in like 4th grade or 3rd grade, and I think USA used to do Bette Midler marathons because I know a lot.
She
I don't
did
know
so
that one,
much stuff.
but I've seen so many of her movies a lot. It's weird for never and not for not knowing shit about her or anything.
I know, and I'm surprised you've seen Stella because that's a pretty deep cut.
Yeah.
I know the music's because my mom was all about all those big 80s ballads, so I still am as well. But she was a good singer and would sing at a lot of weddings and stuff.
The only his mom.
Oh, your mom.
I mean, I'm sure Bette sang
So
at a wedding.
I know the Rose for sure.
Well,
that song is just.
Oh, it's
we
gorgeous.
sang.
Some say
Love.
Yes.
It's got some great lyrics.
The
too.
only reason I know
really-
that song is in 7th grade. I was in choir, and a girl in our high school got killed. And so they made us sing a song to honor her at the choir event, and we sang that song. So we had to learn it last minute. It's not like a song that we all knew. It wasn't like a song that, and so my association with that song is being like, oh, we gotta fucking learn this song really fast because a girl died. And it's like, and then somebody else in class is like, that was my cousin. It's like, oh Jesus.
I mean, every rose has its thorn.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I mean, at least we
man.
would have been able to
There's
know
a
something.
solid
I was like, can
one.
we do Gangster's Paradise out of respect for her? We all know that one.
Exactly. How about one we're remotely familiar with?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, I do know you're a bit of a GNR super fan
Yeah.
as well.
You brought them up already.
Hell
If only
yeah.
there were a cartoon of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well, they were
wish.
kind of cartoons.
I know, yeah,
They were.
exactly. It would be too.
How
Did
did
one,
how
one
did-
of your sisters get you into them, or was it just the fact that they're the biggest rock band on the face of the planet?
You know what's funny? I feel like I came to them very late, and it was. This is embarrassing to admit. It was really in I was always aware of them in that, school
lexicon,
dances would
pop
always
culture,
play
yeah.
November Rain.
Yeah.
But I didn't become a GNR superfan until high school.
Ooh.
Because I'm gonna sound like such a monster. When I was a freshman, I would hang out with senior guys.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
And they got me and my friends really into Warrant and GNR.
Wow.
And I didn't know these bands at all.
Yeah,
When I was
yeah.
Cherry Pie.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Have
it's
you
lovely.
seen the guy that from Warrant? Have you seen him rant about cherry pie?
No.
Oh my god,
sounds
it's one of
amazing.
those VH1.
Is he
thing.
woke now?
No, he's
okay.
he's
just tired of playing
very
it?
dead now.
Oh, well,
Because he drank himself to death. Because
rest in peace, bud.
Because he's been depressed his entire life ever since Cherry Pie came out.
Oh,
Yeah.
The thing is, he's like, they were putting out. He's like, the name of the album was going to be Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Yes.
First single off the album was going to be Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the record exec comes in and he's like, we need a song like Aerosmith's "Love in an Elevator" on this album. So I went home on the weekend, wrote Cherry Pie. Came in, played it. Next thing I know, the name of the album's Cherry Pie. The name of the single's Cherry Pie.
Yeah.
I'm in cherry pie eating contest.
Yeah.
I'm the cherry pie guy.
Yeah.
I could fucking shoot myself for having wrote that song.
Okay, now
Wow.
as an artist, I get that. As a person who grew up so poor and is still to this day has no money, just deal with it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. That's what we were talking about. Joey McIntyre or whatever the guy from New York. He figured it out. He can parody himself a little bit. He gets it. It's like you can pay your life. I mean, it's unfortunate that he succumbed to alcoholism or something like that. But it's like you got that stuff. You got the thing. It just like that kid that played Anakin Skywalker. He's always spouting it off, but he's always spouting off about how sucky it is.
Christensen?
No, the young guy.
Oh,
Jake Lloyd or whatever. But he's always pissed about it at a fucking Star Wars convention that they probably paid him $2,000 to go to. You know.
And you just sort of have to accept, not to be too like hippy dippy, but you have to accept like how your life unfolds and the reality of it. And like, I'm sure he didn't intend when he was like a young struggling musician. He wasn't like, I hope to make it with a song I loathe. You know? But like, well, that's how the cards were dealt. And like, be glad that you have had some success and just accept the reality of what is happening.
That's
what's crazy about a lot of those Sunset Strip bands too is how they were before they made it.
Yeah.
Like they were all just poor and living off of girlfriends.
Living off of strippers.
Yeah,
exactly. All
Yeah.
of them. I mean, that's what's so sad to me. Like, I've read so many books about GNR and Motley Crue, and like, in every single case, it was like the goodwill of some nice, kindly stripper.
Yeah.
And it's like the only way they were able to eat, and then they made it and we're like, see you never.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean,
oh golly, sorry. I was thinking of a Motley Crue thing because that's that same era, you know.
Yeah.
Nick Hornby, the author who wrote like Fever Pitch and High Fidelity, so yeah, he's great. He did a column in this newspaper for a few years that was every month he would document all the books he read and all the books he bought, and he's a big reader. And then he would do like little things about him. And one of them is called Housekeeping versus the... They put these all together in like compendiums. And one of them is called Housekeeping versus the Dirt because in 1 month he read Motley Crue's The Dirt.
Yeah, The Dirt
and
is
then
so good.
I can't think of her name. The lady that like does stuff with Snoop Dogg when she was in...
Martha Stewart
has a book called Housekeeping. And he read both of those and then explained the differences between them. There's a thing from the Motley Crue book that when he wrote it in the book, he's like, and now I do not feel comfortable writing this sentence, but I want it to be out there. So it'll be microscopic. If you'd like to get a magnifying glass, you can read what this says. And literally, when you're reading the pages of the book, it's all normal book print. And then it's just like it looks just like a line.
Wow.
But if you get a microscope and look at it, it
gosh.
says Motley Crue, it's Tommy Lee saying that when they used to cheat on their wives, they would go get burritos and fuck burritos in the car before they walked in. So that way when they went into their girlfriends or their wives, their cocks wouldn't smell like other women. It would smell like a fucking burrito.
No hot sauce, please.
yeah. No hot sauce.
One mild burrito.
It's like, aren't you suspicious? Like, hey, let's get
All
after it. Why does
guacamole.
your dick smell like a burrito?
Hey, quite cute. Is that refried beans on there? What are you doing?
That's when you have no problem paying extra for guac.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Talk about the guac of shame.
Oh, boy.
God. Yeah, but they have so many like gross anecdotes in the dirt. Oh my
boy.
god.
Okay, so
well, it's fucking 22-year-old dudes getting
Exactly.
handed the world.
Oh, I know.
And
that
at
were
a
already
time,
kind of shitty.
at a time where not just you could get away with anything, but that you were being told to get away with anything. You know,
exactly. I mean, that was Guns N' Roses' whole ethos. Like a lot of those other glam bands that preceded GNR, they were very much like, yeah, we're bad boys, but like in reality they weren't. You know, I mean, Bret Michaels. You know, those bands, like they were actually pretty soft. And Guns N' Roses was like, no, this is like we're the real deal.
Well, they had
We're
like the original ones that came out that were like hard and real.
Who's that? Like Thin Lizzy?
As far as like how they were living. No, Thin Lizzy's like straight up rock, but Rat,
and
Crew were some of the first like Sunset Strip bands to break, and then they all just drank half their band to death.
Some of them died, and
And
it's
then,
weird now to see where they're
and
at.
then they started getting all of the like more MTV ready ones, like your Poisons.
Where does Cinderella fit in that? Is that the MTV era?
Cinderella's a little bit more real than
I
the
feel like
other
they're
ones.
in the same category as Rat, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get confused
because they got like straight up riffs and like they're a little bit more metal than like
this is that whole era of music to this day I still have missed out on.
Really?
I just because my brother was older, and so my brother was into kind of that stuff, but my brother got really into like shitty radio rock, like the stuff we talk about, butt rock or whatever we call it on here. So like my brother got into, first it was grunge, I guess, but my brother got into grunge really early. So like in 89, 90, when I was a little kid, that's what he was telling me about. So like I just miss Motley Crue, and my dad didn't give a fuck. My dad was like blasting like REO and shit like that. So I still to this day, so like hearing you say that like, because when I first moved to, around the same time I first moved to New York, you and Tim Warner.
Yeah,
had
and Bill Chambers had a podcast.
You had a Guns N' Roses podcast.
Get in the Ring.
And what was it called?
Get in the Ring.
Get in the Ring. People can probably still find that somewhere, right? Maybe.
You know what? I actually think it's been like wiped from the internet, which is
that's
I
fun.
know it's so sad because we had so many episodes.
Yeah.
We would speak at length about specific concerts.
Yeah.
And it was the most detailed GNR podcast ever.
At some point, I think I must have listened to an episode or something, and at some point, and you know me, I do this now all the time, but I was like, all right, this is it. I'm going to give Guns N' Roses a shot. And I fucking got like a half an album in, and I was like, it's not for me. I can't do it.
Well, I mean, you got to start with Appetite for Destruction.
Well,
That's really all there is.
I would say
what I
start
did.
and end.
It's Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
And then you cherry pick what you like
Yeah.
off of.
And then all of a sudden you're the cherry
Use
picker guy.
No, everybody
Yeah.
cherry picks
Get
the
it?
Use Your Illusions.
That was like a
Oh, I know.
reference
I mean,
for-
Use Your Illusions, there was just too much
Yeah.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
and I feel like the cherries I picked off Use Your Illusion were weird, like Estranged. Who loves Estranged?
It's a good video.
Yeah, Dolphin.
Yeah, that's
oh my
like
God, it's
the-
so weird. That was in that trio of videos.
Yeah.
that were like, it was November Rain, Estranged, and Don't Cry.
Were they
I think.
sequels? Were they all
It
story?
was supposed to be all like thematically
Nice,
connected.
nice.
I mean, Axl always
I
has like
love
a vision.
You Could Be Mine because it had Arnold just walking through. And
that's a great song. Oh, I was at a party.
Arnold
recently.
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
for Terminator 2.
Oh,
Hey.
okay.
It's-
Yeah, I was at a party recently and it came on and literally it was like Matt Wayne, Jason Berger.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
all this, like literally this song comes on, everyone turns to me. I was like,
plus, that's a dope ass bass
oh
line.
my God,
right
it's
up
so
top.
good. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
starts so strong.
I had Appetite for Destruction. I had the album when I was a kid, and I listened to not like a deep dive, but I put it on because I was huge into CDs and I would buy CDs all the time and stuff. And this is probably like 95. And I had it, and I listened to it, and I was like, not for me. And my friend Jonathan was like, that rules. So that day we traded. I got Weezer's Blue album, and he got Guns N' Roses, and it like literally it set the rest of our lives because of that. Like I became the guy that listens to Weezer, and he's the guy that listens to Guns N' Roses. It's great.
Also,
I think-
wait, how can you listen to Appetite for Destruction and not fall in love with Welcome to the Jungle? It's so scary.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
To me, I think also because this was the thing I've recently got into more of that. Like I've been listening to Hall & Oates and stuff a lot lately, and there's a lot of songs that if they were too in the lexicon when I was a kid, I can't judge them as songs. So like Appetite for Destruction is like that, or Sweet Child of Mine. It's like it's hard for me to be like, this is a good song.
Yes,
which
'cause
makes
it's
me
just always
not want to go to a
That's-
deep cut.
Yeah, half of Appetite for Destruction has been killed by FM radio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
for, like-
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I'm always
Yeah.
like, let me just get the Bottle Queen. And
Yeah.
Rocket
Queen, yeah.
I know Rocket Queen, 2 songs in one.
Yeah.
Like how cool is that?
And I think also another thing that hurt Guns N' Roses in my mind was I watched that Metallica Behind the Music early, and they talk about how shitty being on tour with them was in it. and
well, it's
stuff.
just Axl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
and
But
he's-
also at the time I was taking fucking Lars's side in this. I'm like, I bet he was a great dude, you know?
to think that Lars Ulrich is a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
now,
It's so fucked up.
I mean, yeah.
But-
I liked Metallica, but like I just remember when the Napster stuff was blowing up.
Yeah.
Just and granted, like in many ways, I appreciate that they're like we're artists, we want to be compensated
Yeah.
for our art, but they were just such like squeaky wheels about it.
and
you know?
that's what I love about that Some Kind of Monster documentary is you really see that it was Lars, that he was leading all that, and then it has that fucking part where he's selling his art at Sotheby's, and you're like,
Oh,
fuck this guy
you.
forever.
How pretentious.
Oh boy, I hated it. But I don't know, that era, I think if there was one, like what's a Guns N' Roses song that you think would break me in? Both of you could answer if you think there's one. Do you think there's one that could, like, if it's not a hit, I mean, but is there one deep cut that is like, my musical taste, is there something that's gonna fucking hit me?
I bet you there is a cover of Don't Cry out there.
Yeah.
That's
By some band I like, and then
Yep.
it'll break me. That's how I got into, is it Dire Straits? Who
Yeah.
does Romeo and Juliet?
Dire
oh yeah,
Straits?
yeah.
I got into them because the Killers did a really great version of that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now I'm listening to Dire
know.
Straits all the
That's
fucking
like-
time.
Oh,
I feel
maybe
like-
you're a Chinese democracy guy.
I would love it.
no.
It would be so funny.
You know what? I have given Chinese democracy the college
hasn't?
try.
Yeah.
I've tried so hard.
That thing got rumored more than the newest Tool album.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Like-
Do you remember when it came out?
Yeah.
What's his name? Reviewed it. Oh, that dude who I love with the red hair, Kurt.
Loader?
No.
No.
He was like a journalist who wrote Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt,
Klosterman.
Yeah,
Klosterman.
Chuck Klosterman.
Chuck
Sorry,
Klosterman.
Chuck
That's it.
Klosterman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did this like great review of Chinese democracy. He was just like, reviewing this feels like reviewing a unicorn because I simply can't believe it's here. You know? Like,
It took for frickin' ever.
Yeah.
I can
16
remember
years, I think.
hearing rumors about it for frickin' ever.
I know.
They snuck one track onto the Schwarzenegger End of Days soundtrack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like the song Sorry because I find it sort of sad and weird, but like, that's it.
Well,
like,
all
it's
the
a bad
worst
album.
parts about both Use Your Illusions crammed into one 50-minute album.
I know. Yeah. It was,
I tried to make a joke once.
And then he had the comeback band lineup with like Buckethead.
Oh,
yeah.
no, I saw
well,
that
that's the
on
thing.
Terminal
I tried to make a
5.
joke once, like a shitty tweet, like shitting on Buckethead, and I Wikipedia'd him to figure
Dreadlocks.
something out, and I was like, yeah, man, that guy's put out like
I know,
fucking
he has
70
a pretty
albums.
extensive resume.
I was like, all right, he's fine. I can't come at this guy no
It's nice of
more.
you to, before you go.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
doing fucking proggy jazz metal
Yeah.
for fucking a decade before he was in. I remember seeing him. He did like half of a set at Ozfest.
Oh, yeah.
with like different bands. It was like him and Primus.
Well, I kind of like when that was a thing, and that's something that I think that I don't know what Axl Rose's been up to now. I know that he makes some. He's pretty. Seems to be like have a good head on his shoulders about politics at least.
Yeah, he does.
I've seen him like
And
make
they're
some
back
fun
on
tweets and
tour.
stuff.
I mean,
Are
it's
they?
like, well, it's just Duff and Slash.
Oh, and
Axl.
Duff is fucking
Which is all
interesting
you-
as shit.
Yeah.
Have you
Oh,
seen
Duff
that
is
documentary?
fascinating.
Or is it a documentary or a TV series where maybe it's just it's like a special almost.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard.
It's great. It's
About
him
him,
talking about coming to sobriety, and
Yeah.
he's doing acoustic songs that are wonderful. And it's very like if you liked MTV Unplugged or VH1 Storytellers, it's very much like that.
I know
And
Slash.
he's so interesting.
Slash is a dinosaur expert.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Wait, is this a bit? Hold on, I'm scanning for a pun.
No,
Okay.
he just knows a lot
Does
about
he?
dinosaurs.
Yeah, Slash is a really interesting dude. I mean, I loved when they would reflect on that era. Like Slash was like, it just got weird when they brought in like a full symphony.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses. What?
He's standing there with his Les Paul and Marshall Stacks lining up
Yes.
behind him. He's like, what the fuck is this guy with the woodwind
I
doing
know,
over
exactly.
here?
Which is
I'm
honestly,
fucking Slash.
Yeah.
which is
exactly.
honestly why.
So then he formed the Snake Pit.
That's why I
Yeah.
think S&M, that Metallica one, is because they were all stoked to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they were like, "Oh, this is fun to play with this." So it's like that's why that was a big success and cool instead of the way it worked out with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I know. And it was just like Axl's weird vision.
Yeah.
You know, like the rest of the band was like, okay, whereas Appetite, that was like all of them sort of more so
Yeah,
together. And like so many bands have one good album in them.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
Well,
And
I-
it's weirdly, it's typically the first.
yeah.
well, because the first was like the
Yeah.
Lies.
Didn't it? What's
right?
the Spaghetti Incident? Isn't that
Just
an
their
album? by
cover
theirs?
album.
Oh, okay. I just
Yeah.
know that as a
And
That's
reference.
just them trying to fulfill their contractual
Contracts, yeah.
duties. Just like every
Yeah.
cover album for the
But
most part.
it's called the Spaghetti Incident because there was a fight between Axl and Steven Adler, the original
Oh.
drummer, that like literally they went to court and the incident in question was referred to as the Spaghetti
Oh,
Incident.
that's fun. That's
where I guess
good.
like Axl threw spaghetti at Steven
Sure.
or ate his spaghetti, like something. But so they like titled that just as a fuck you to Steven Adler, which makes me so sad.
Isn't he
What's your
dead?
favorite?
He's not dead. He's
What's
still
your
alive.
favorite Axl Rose video style of clothing that he's wearing?
Ooh.
Oh,
Because I mean, there's a lot.
I know. There's something I like about the jersey that says Mean Machine on
Okay.
it.
I'm big on
Yeah.
I'm big on his leather, his white
yeah, like
leather,
Leather Daddy. Oh,
Paradise.
yes.
Paradise
Yeah.
City's great.
Yeah.
We have the
But then
Charles
also the
Manson
kilts.
shirt.
Yeah, Charles Manson, and with a kilt.
He
I
wears a
kinda
kilt
dig
at the
that.
wedding, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like the kilt with the referee or baseball umpire padding.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
always-
his fashion was bold.
I did always like the November Rain video, but because I think I always thought it was funny because I grew up playing music like when I was a kid and stuff too, and I always thought it was funny Slash rocking out to an electric guitar that's not plugged into anything out in the
Yes.
car.
Oh,
I always
yeah.
thought that was just such a funny thing, but then that became such a trope, and maybe it already was at that point. But there's just so many videos of that you kind of have to give it up after a while.
That's
you
such
know?
a great
Yeah.
video, though.
I know, that, like,
And
crane
when
shot, and he's just, like, in the wind.
he's got a shred,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
step
mean,
out into this
and
courtyard
it's a funny
and rip
video.
one of the best solos ever.
Yes.
I used to the video girl with the dress that goes all the way up, that crazy ass wedding dress.
Yeah,
that
that
she
wedding
loves
dress.
to
where you
wear.
can
yeah,
see-
yeah.
Oh yeah, Stephanie Seymour. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see that she's wearing the thing, and then
That's
I
why they
love,
call her
like,
Seymour.
when they go.
I don't know if
But I
that
love
makes
in the
sense.
video, yeah, when they like go to get the ring, and it's like I don't have, like funny stuff.
Yeah.
These dudes.
There's okay, so I know. You've seen The Rock? I assume, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I take pleasure in gutting you, boy.
Remember at the end when they go to that church and they look under the steps and they're like, "Hey, you want to know who killed Kennedy?" You know, because he gets all the secrets. Is that The Rock?
I don't think so.
Is it The Rock or
Oh,
Con Air?
I think it's that's Con Air.
Maybe
with the
okay. Con,
church.
that's right. Yeah, I watched that one time with like some friend, and they're like, "That's the church from the November Rain video," and I was like, "Oh."
Whoa.
But like we had fucking no way. This was like 1998, I was like, and I don't even know this guy. It was just a guy at a party, and I'm like, are you just saying a sentence that I took as gospel for years?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know. I was always thinking
Was it
that.
a tiny chapel in the middle of nothing?
Yeah, kinda, sorta.
Hey.
Goddamn. Okay, so we've talked.
Now, were you lucky enough to see
you
GNR in their heyday? Or just
no. I mean, I'm 38, so yeah. Like so I never went. I had a friend who went to. I believe. I mean, her older brother took her to. I think it was the Guns N' Roses Metallica.
Yeah,
concert.
that '91 tour.
Yeah,
They went everywhere.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
year.
and she was 11 at that time.
And it was like one of the biggest tours of all time.
So like never. I mean, that was what killed them. Is like they were always on tour. I know the first time I saw GNR in concert was his tour with Buckethead at Terminal 5, and then I saw 2 summers ago, me and Tim Warner and Bill Chambers got the old crew back together, and went out to some New Jersey stadium and saw like the Not in This Lifetime.
His
tour.
voice still holds up too, doesn't it?
He sounds great, and I think that 16 or 20 years of like social isolation in Hollywood really changed Axl. Like, they started on time. He was eager to be there. He was very, he's just like, yeah, psyched to be here, rock and roll. Like he seemed like much more.
Does he
friendly.
have some sort of a disease or anything? Do you know of?
I mean, I think people think that he's
because
battles mental
he's
illness.
red.
No,
he's a redhead.
I meant something like a
physical.
Because he kind of blew up his face, but not in a he just became a big guy, but almost like in a he's got some sort of a pituitary problem or some. And I've always wondered about that, and maybe that's why I had my own fan theory that I was like, for a band I'm not a fan of, I guess. But I was like, maybe that's why Chinese Democracy finally came out and they started touring again. Was like, oh, maybe it's one of those things where like he finds out he's got something and he's like, I better try to make a little bit of money and get this going. But that's all in my brain. I've never even fucking Googled it.
I wonder. I always thought that he just like didn't age well.
Yeah.
And like maybe it was a guy who just got kind of bloated. But
that can happen.
But you're right. I mean, it does seem like it was much more, and maybe that's like getting some fillers.
Well, and
or,
another
like,
thing that made me think, Val Kilmer, that same thing, he started looking somewhat like that too. And then it came out that he has something.
Oh,
he had
really?
a disease. And nothing, I don't know if it's the end of the world or anything, but it was something that like it was a reaction to something. It wasn't just like, actor turned looking fucking weird. It was like a thing that led it to that.
Ashley Judd. Like Ashley Judd was on some sort of medication that made her face blow up.
Yeah.
And then she got made fun of, and like she issued a statement. It was like, I'm currently on meds. And
Yeah. It's so weird. Okay, so
I was googling pictures of dogs that got stung by bees in their face.
That's an afternoon.
It's pretty funny.
Murphy got bit.
Got stung. They look goofy. They're fine.
Murphy got stung by something years ago when he was living. My dog Murphy, when he was living in Iowa with my mom, and she used to send me a photo, and she's like, Murphy got stung by something. We're taking him to the vet, and she sent me a photo. Didn't look anything like him.
Wow.
And this was like 2009. It was before we could save a photo, So like I don't have access to that photo anymore. But it was like, oh, that's my dog, but that's not. It's his face it looked like a human face. It was so flat and big, and you're like, holy shit.
Whoa, that's really scary.
Pretty fun Google search though,
Uh-huh.
Okay, so did we talk? I know we talked about music, but what was the movie? You were saying? You were saying the Airplane and the Troop Beverly Hills.
Yes, Big Business.
Big Business.
Yeah,
Okay.
Which was Lily Tomlin, Bette Midler.
All right. What about a snack? You got a snack you fucking loved as a kid? What was your favorite shit to eat? Like maybe your mom would make some, your dad wants to make some, or you go out to a certain
Maybe some
spot?
good regional Boston restaurants.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, let's see. I mean, we didn't have a lot of junk food at home.
Oh, no.
So like when I would go to my friends,
Hell
there's like little coffee cakes.
Yep.
Like,
I
would like hit those hard.
That's such a from doing this podcast, we've learned things that we never knew, and I never realized how big that was. It was like you grew up in a snack house, or you didn't grow up in a snack house,
no.
but regardless, you had snacks when you were a kid because you would utilize your friends and stuff
I know.
like that.
My friend Katie always had.
Yeah.
I mean, she would have like ding dongs and
Yeah,
I mean, she had, like
yeah.
the real deal.
I was just
stuff.
thinking this the other day. Almost every snack cake can be used as an insult.
Yes,
You know,
right,
you just
yeah.
apply it.
True.
It's like,
Hey, look at that
I know.
fucking Swiss cake roll over there.
yeah.
That's good. I like that.
It's a real ding dong.
I know, ding dongs. Wait, what is the one?
Check out
like,
that Twinkie.
Twinkie.
Look at that.
What Twinkie? The one walking with that nutty bar.
Yeah. Then
man,
I got
love
cut off by
those.
this asshole oatmeal cream pie.
I eat those things occasionally because they are so good.
I literally in January.
And they're not as bad as the other ones because they have oatmeal.
Exactly right. In January 2015, I believe, I gave up eating Little Debbie's because I had to because
Really?
because
You
had
to go
December
cold turkey?
December 2014, I was eating a lot of Little Debbie's, and so I gave
As
them
a
up.
kid, Little Debbie's were like the perfect thing to round off that pocket of change you
Like,
had.
round it off
Because
with
it was all
a
25 cents, you know? So,
round it off with a fudge round, you know.
Yeah.
man.
So you got your candy bar and then 5 Flaffy Taffies and frickin' Star Crunch.
Yeah, it sounds. I don't eat meat. I don't drink, and I never have. Sometimes I'll be like, I want ribs, but I never that. But I get like watery thinking about having an oatmeal cream pie or a Swiss cake roll or something. Even the ones I never liked before, like the brownies, not the cosmic brownies, but the brownies with the walnuts in them. I'll sometimes be like, oh, that sounds really good, and I never ate those when I could.
I like to slowly break them apart to try and make them last as long as I could. Both like the nutty bars.
Yeah.
You take each wafer layer off one by one, work your way down, or you get the Swiss cake roll and you slowly eat the exterior until it just disappears.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Strategy.
I had to have said this on the show before because it's
Probably.
a huge part of but with the Christmas cake rolls at our school, we had a la carte where you could use cash to buy extra stuff, and Swiss Little Debbie's was a huge part of it. And there was these Christmas cakes. And I had like a way that I ate them. And I made it was like because I was a class clowning guy, so I made it like a big deal. And I eat it a certain way, and I got other kids doing stuff. And like last year, my friend Jenna texted me, and she's like, oh, by the way, we taught our son how to eat them the way you ate them. So it's like I'm changing the generation.
Wow.
You know?
Being
and it was all like
down.
you eat the bottom part, then you eat the side, you eat the top, you side, and then it becomes this cool little outline. And you put the whole fucking thing in your mouth and try to eat it without dying. And it was so good.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
What about a restaurant? Was Wheaton, or was it Wheaton? Is that it?
Weston.
Weston. Did they have like a nice little spot to go to, or would you guys just go to the city when you wanted to go out?
Well, we would go. We would sometimes go to there's a town Waltham next door, but you know where we would go a lot, my sisters and I, to Friendly's.
Oh,
what's a Friendly's?
You don't have Friendly's?
No, that's not. We don't know about Friendly's.
What?
It's not a Midwest
Seriously?
thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It's just a nice casual dining family restaurant.
Yeah, it's but I'd say pretty low end. It's
I know it as a reference.
Cheese. Okay.
So because people say it's. I think you explain it, and then I think I know what it's like.
It's. Mostly it's like really good ice cream and ice cream cakes, but then also sundaes that you can get, but then they do serve meals, but it's fries, grilled cheese, burgers.
Yeah. So it's like a Dairy Queenish. That's not what I thought it was.
Okay.
I always have thought Friendly's. I've been wrong my whole life. I always thought Friendly's was like a Ruby Tuesdays or a
Ground
Applebee's.
Round.
Yeah, no, that's a little more high end than Friendly's.
Yeah.
Friendly's is pretty basic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not even going to get a menu to draw your crayons on.
Well, no, they would have those, but it's like
BYOC.
The ambiance. The
Bring
ambiance
your own
is
crayon.
not. The ambiance isn't nice, and it's good for a big 10-person party because you'd sit in a bench seat and then they had a wall that they could remove to connect to another bench seat.
Oh hell
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I actually think I'm not 100% sure, but I think there might be one near my hometown now. I'm near in Council Bluffs. There's I don't know if this ever because I don't know what the distance between your town and Boston was. But my hometown,
about 12 miles.
My hometown used to be it was 15 minutes to Omaha, and there was a lot of nothing. Okay, and then or we'll say Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is right outside Omaha. So it was 15 minutes to there, and then that was when I was a little kid. And then when I was in high school, it was 12 minutes to there because Council Bluffs kept expanding. And now it's 8 minutes to there because it just keeps, all this old farmland just keeps becoming, developed and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there might be a Target right there. And next to that Target, I think might be one of these Friendly's ice cream places.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try it one of these days.
They're really good. I used to be obsessed with, nightly, when we were in high school, my sister Laurel and I would go to Friendly's to the point that we knew the manager by name.
Hell yeah.
We were hey Zahid. He's the usual. It was every night. And we would get watermelon ice cream. It wasn't watermelon sherbet. It was watermelon ice cream.
That sounds
It was
good.
blazing pink. It was so delicious. And we'd get Jimmy's on it. And that is, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
What's a Jimmy?
It is a sprinkle, but in the Boston area, you call it, in the Boston area, and I'm trying, people say that this is racist.
It's one of those things that they've gone back and found out it was derived from a racial term.
Yeah. So, and I'm ugh.
But I think we're okay. I think it's okay because that was an after the fact figure found out. You know what I mean?
I grew up being so in the Boston area or maybe Massachusetts, sprinkles that are sprinkles to go on ice cream that are all different colors are called sprinkles, but ones that are just chocolate are called Jimmy's. And we would get that. And it's so good. I still think about it, but I don't know if they even sell that anymore. Everyone's always watermelon sherbet. I'm no. It was ice cream.
There was a spot in my hometown because my hometown was tiny and we didn't have shit. We had a Hardee's and we had a pizza and stuff. But for a while,
You do worse than that.
Yeah, you're right. But for a while, this. It was, I don't know the specifics. It was just all of a sudden somebody decided to try to open an ice cream store. and it was in this little place. I never went inside. I had a drive-through, but they would make the craziest ice creams, and they would had a watermelon ice cream, and it was one of those places where you could get anything you wanted in it. So I would always get watermelon ice cream, like you're saying, but I would get bubble gum in it, and it was like literally just like chunks of bubble gum. Yeah. So you could like eat your ice cream, have a piece of gum, but then also take the other ones, like save them for later to have gum.
Oh, it wasn't like that eatable gum?
No. Like, this was like real bubble gum.
Remember that? It come in like a tub of. It come in like a plastic. Something that looked like a laundry detergent container.
Yeah, okay, I know.
And it was like gum.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That you could like eat.
That's so weird.
That's so weird.
But this place like I feel like it was open for, and in retrospect, if you go look, it might have been 5 years, but in my head it was open for 3 months, and then it stopped, and then it became a fucking bank, and now it's just a bank in my hometown. And every time I drive by it, I'm like, they used to fucking really do something in there. Now they're the fucking shittiest.
Now they're selling out to capitalism.
Also, do you feel like because I remember my dad telling me that like Massachusetts is a real ice cream state.
Sure.
Like we had Brigham's, and I don't know. I'm like, is Iowa just not an ice cream state?
No, we are. We actually have a thing called we have Wells Blue Bunny, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, comparative. I mean, having lived in Wisconsin and Iowa, I don't think we qualify as an ice cream state. Wisconsin. No, that's an ice cream
But they're just
state.
all milk all
so
the
much
time.
dairy,
Yeah, they have a dairy sciences building when I lived in Madison that sells ice cream at a place called the Terrace, which is a place where they have like bands and it overlooks the lake.
Wow.
But you can get this Babcock ice cream.
Is it
which
really
was,
good?
Oh yeah.
Do you like Culver's?
I mean,
have you ever been to a Culver's?
I've heard of it.
Do you like Culver's?
Oh, yeah.
Shit. They're it's not ice cream. What's it called? Sherbet?
burgers,
No, they're ice cream. I'm talking.
concrete mixers,
Yeah. What's that stuff called?
concrete mixers.
No, they're what
Is
is
it like Cold Stone Creamery style, like mixed in shit? Or
It's
do you-
got
Custard?
That's what I'm trying to think of.
They got that too, but
That's what Culver's has. I like their food, but it looks like ice cream.
Culver's is
But it's not what I like. Wisconsin
Midwest,
brand.
is a Midwest burger chain
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that is built on stopping there on road trips.
Yeah.
I hear that.
They're all right off the highway.
It
and
was the first place I ever had Frank's Red Hot because they would give you packets of Frank's Red Hot.
They're like if Perkins was a fast food place.
Okay. Yeah.
And but that was their thing is they have pictures and it's like, oh, they bet they have really good ice cream. But you go there and it's this weird custard shit that's not good. I never liked it. We stopped at one.
They have ice cream.
We were driving through. Maybe they have like a soft serve element now, but the big thing was their custard ice cream. But we stopped at one when we were driving back from Iowa over the holidays, and I got their. We passed a White Castle, which has Impossible Burgers now. So I was like, I can get a good burger. It's like fake meat burgers. But instead, we were like, okay, let's try Culver's because I like Culver's. Maybe they have a fake burger. And they had like the shittiest veggie burger. But everybody that worked there is like, no, it's good. Trust us. It tastes just like meat. You'll love it. And it was the shittiest thing. And so I think I'm off Culver's forever now.
Well, that's too bad.
They fuck the ice cream and they won't give me a good veggie burger, you know?
Those bastards.
I like their fries though a lot. Crinkle cut fries. You crinkle cut?
Ooh, yeah.
French fries. What are you going to get?
I gotta say,
It doesn't have to be crinkle cut because I sold it so hard.
yeah. I mean, I like many cuts. The one I do not like is the thick wedge.
Me
cut.
neither.
Terrible.
Yeah, wedges are
They're-
not
It's
good.
it's so lazy,
And it's
you
too
know?
hard for it to still be too potato-y in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like it does not crunchy enough. It's not salty enough. Burger King, I
They-
think, has the best fries.
Burger
out there.
King has really
They're
good
better
fries.
than McDonald's fries, 1,000%.
They've been if you can get them hot.
Yeah.
Because most Burger Kings don't
not
provide
making
hot
the-
food
Yeah.
unless it's the lettuce on their Whopper.
Yeah.
But,
Have you
like-
said that on stage before?
I don't know.
That's fun.
I said it on Twitter, but Burger King's fries are good. They're just never good.
Yeah.
I,
You gotta somehow be there at the right
McDonald's
moment.
fries hold up in a freaking blizzard.
Yeah.
You know, they're still
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
good.
They're still
just
but
not as good as Burger King.
once Burger Kings get cold though, it's just count me out.
I like a shoestring fry though. That's my style. So that's why fast food is always so good. But I started making them at home. Every once in a while, I'll just chop up a potato, and that's great. But I forget because we don't have a fryer, so I forget how long it takes to cook them in the oven. So
bet.
like you're like, ooh, I'm gonna have fries and a burger tonight, and then I do the work, and then you feel like a chef. Because I like cut up a potato,
Yeah.
and then you put them on a thing, and you put them in the oven. You remember it takes you 30 minutes to cook them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm part of the microwave generation. I can't do that.
Oh, remember when they have those microwave Oritas?
Oh yeah.
Gross.
One time Stacy and I went to my wife. We were in Rome? Paris.
Yeah.
And we were staying in a hostel, which was like a terrible, it was great, but it was like a low rent hostel. And we were hungry, and we were trying to penny pinch that night. So we went to a grocery store, and we got like some microwavable French fries, ramen noodles, all this stuff. And then we brought them back and cooked them in the little kitchen. Oh. And the French shitty brand microwave French fries was the grossest stuff. And I love gross stuff. I love bad.
And you love French fries.
They were so bad, and we cooked them, and the ramen was great. And we cooked them, we put them on a plate, and then we sat in the bar and ate where we do it. And so many people walked by and was like, oh, that looks so good. Do they have a menu? And everybody thought, because it smelled good, and it actually looked more like wax beans or something. It didn't look like French fries, but it did look like a good presentation of what we had. And they're like, ooh. And somebody, like the bartender's like, could you guys like finish up like in the kitchen? Because people think we serve good food here now. And it was just because we microwaved fucking French fries, you know? Ugh.
Oh my God.
That was crazy.
Did you always eat what you were given as a kid, or did you have to get something extra?
No, I was my sister Laurel was a picky eater. I was very like clean plate club.
Yeah.
I eat like everything. I mean, in adulthood, I just don't like eggplants.
We gotta get Laurel on the show.
Eggplants is mine's mushrooms.
Oh, really?
I keep trying. I can't.
That's funny.
Can't get on board.
That's funny because I'm the pickiest fucker on earth, and I enjoy both of those things.
Really?
I like now. I didn't like them until 2 years ago.
You know what's fun? Because we can't eat fries like we used to.
Yeah.
Those sweet potatoes. Sweet potato
No,
fries.
sweet potato fries, but they have to be with horseradish.
You guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's because some people have with sweet potato fries ketchup, and it's like, huh?
You guys are full of shit. They're bad. They're gross, and they're always soggy.
What?
Oh, you're just eating the wrong ones.
If there's one that'll get crispy, sure, I'll try it. But
go to TGI Fridays or Trader Joe's.
Anytime I've ever had them, they're fucking. Like, you pick them up, and they're like a noodle, and I can't.
No,
I just think, to me, the deal maker with sweet potato fries is like a horseradish dipping sauce. It's because it really like contrasts with the sweet potato nicely.
Try it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just horseradish.
Now I'm on board because I don't feel right with the ketchup on the
it doesn't
fries.
make sense.
Yeah,
their flavors are bad.
Much
different.
of the similar flavors.
I've gotten to the point where unless I'm at home. If I'm at a restaurant or something like that, I don't even use ketchup on my fries no more. Which I don't know. That's got to be a bad sign. Like I'm dying or something, or taste or changing.
If I get like a burger and fries, I rarely am. I
like
mostly having the fries be part of the burger experience.
Ketchup and fry and
I love ketchup. It's
fries
my favorite thing.
are my most like ketchup used thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll go to when I go to the Burger King to get the best fries out there. What I like to do is I grab an entire like medium lid.
Yeah, that's a move that we all do that.
Put a napkin under it, and then I squirt into my ketchup into the medium lid instead of those little.
That's what I've always done too.
Because I like ketchup that much.
Aren't you smart? Wow.
I've done that all my life, and then I think I saw you do it and was just like, oh, everybody does that.
Yeah.
And then I go on the road with somebody else, and they're like, that's fucking weird, dude.
In fact, also I think is weird is the animals that like get a burger and fries somewhere, and then they take the ketchup and put it on top of the fries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fucking weird.
And then they're gonna pick
Who
up.
was it? You have no control then.
God damn it! Who were we eating?
I
with?
will ask for a little plastic portion cup. And I'm like, can I get one of those
it's a dipping sauce.
Yeah.
I was eating with some animal in this city, some comedian, I don't remember who literally ripped open a ketchup packet. We were sitting at like a McDonald's or something, and then brought a fry up, squirted a little on it, and then ate it. And
are you kidding?
And this wasn't the king of England.
Too laborious
that person is
right
a
there.
maniac.
Oh boy, I don't, and I'm not Lisa Lampanelli, but I think I roasted them for an hour.
Have you seen these new ketchup packets they got now?
The little tubs? I like them,
Yeah, they sell them at...
It's like sweet and sour sauce, but a ketchup in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they even look like a ketchup
three
bottle.
portions of it, and it's just like...
Yeah.
But
I know they
more
have them
waste,
at...
probably.
No, it's less, I think.
And I think
Maybe.
it's probably,
I
don't know.
equivalent. It just seems like it's a thicker...
Well, it's adding plastic to
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We can cut down on that shit.
I like the
Bottles?
the little paper cups.
Uh-huh.
You ever have that thing when you like the little things that you get at McDonald's that if you open those up, you pull them apart. That's what you're supposed to do with them. And then they get to be about the size of a medium cup lid, and you squirt them up with ketchup, but nobody knows that.
Yeah, so everyone's doing a tiny little bucket.
Yeah, it was like some fucking like life hacky thing I saw once, and I was like, just put it on the medium lid, just squirt it on the thing. Or I mean,
that doesn't work. I tried.
Also,
anymore
life hacks. They make you want to punch someone.
Yeah, they're all
like,
for hacks.
Are you washing your hair this way, you dumb idiot? And it's like,
That's like I've seen this a lot. The thing about fucking Burger King or maybe it's McDonald's, their McNuggets box. You're supposed to open it up, and then there's a hole in it so you can put it on your drink. So you can hold it, the straw holds it in place, and you take a drink and you put it in the car, and then you can eat in the car. And I'm like, nobody, that was nobody at McDonald's was ever like, we need to solve this. Also, that's a thing. There's a hole, and you made a decision, and then wrote an article for Refinery 29 or whatever.
Does anybody here? Amen. Does anybody here fuck with ketchup that isn't Heinz 57?
Yeah, you're the weirdo. I'll take.
I don't think I'm a weirdo.
I can't tell the difference between different ketchups, except for when I go abroad. I find in England the ketchup is like a vinegar. It's disgusting.
I
like England's ketchup.
Organic ketchup once, and I don't like it.
England's
it's
ketchup.
runny.
Oh yeah, no.
You don't even have to like squeeze it. You just hold it upside down, and it's like
organic ketchup is bad, and the no salt ketchup is really horrible.
Give me a break.
But I can have any brand. That's fine with me.
Yeah,
like I can have a ketchup.
You need to bring back that Shrek ketchup.
Thank you. We do need to bring back that Shrek ketchup. Was it green?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fun.
Wow.
I'm not good with
I just remember that
because
my niece was totally into colored ketchup when they were produced for
there
like
was a purple.
Minute. I didn't know they actually did that.
Yeah, there was a
purple and green ketchup.
I remember that.
Wow.
Oh
I mean, when you're a kid, it is pretty cool to eat something that's a weird color.
Yeah. And then you drink your chocolate milk through a crazy straw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good toy that they would throw into.
A crazy straw?
I can remember like the cereals. You could just keep adding to your crazy straw.
Yeah.
So eventually you got this like 14-foot long straw.
You know what I fucking loved was I'd either just grab a handful of straws, or what I would do is get we'd buy the bag at the store, but then I like taking straws and you just kind of bend the end a little bit, you shove it into the next straw, and then you can make your own super straw. And if you want, you can put a little piece of tape around it just so there's no leakage. But I would do that, and that was like a game in my house. I would literally like have like a cup on the floor in the kitchen, and I would be all the way across the house, and it took forever.
My straw game.
Weird.
You got a lot of lung power, but you drink it, and it's good.
My straw game was learning about vacuums.
Oh,
When you put your finger over a straw, and then you hold it up and you drop it into your drink, and you do that 40 times.
What about
they haven't given you a coloring pad yet?
What about the bend? You know what I'm talking about? You wrap it up and you flick it.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Well, they don't make them at all anymore.
They don't make a lot of good straws.
Now they're paper straws. You can't pop a paper straw.
You can't.
But it'll save our environment, and that's what matters.
Yeah, McDonald's used to be able to like push the straw through the paper.
Yeah.
With your thumb.
I love the thing.
And now you have to like actually open it.
I love the rip, and then you fucking blow it, and you shoot it your sister in the goddamn face with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. God damn, Selena, this has been a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Flew by. Now, the listeners, the NFers, they love you. They're on board. Go ahead and tell them about your podcast again and plug your Twitter and anything else you want to do. Your album, any of that kind of stuff. Just let them know where to find your stuff.
Nice. Yeah. Well, everything sort of connects to my website, which is selenacoppock.com, SELENACOPPOCK. But yeah, my podcast, I just finished season 1 of 2 Wick Minimum. And it's just candle conversation with fellow candleheads.
You can't say that like that. It's just candle conversation. You get it.
I mean, it is like the dumbest, greatest podcast.
It would be so
ever.
funny if
just
iTunes...
a lot of candle canter.
It would be great for you if iTunes had like a section that was just candles.
Yeah, well...
Because you'd be number 1.
Oh, well, there's no competition. Literally, I am America's first and favorite
It's
candle
funny.
podcast.
I tried, Ream, so hard to figure out another category to put this fucking podcast in, and there's nothing. We're a comedy podcast. You can't do pop culture stuff is all too specific. We're not dating. We're not health. I thought maybe we ratchet up the cum talk. I was talking to ratchet it up the sex talk and try to make it a horny podcast because Piccolomini's does good on there, But we'll never get into the top 200 on there. Yeah. But if you're doing
sex
candles,
podcasts work because there's a lot of horny, lonely people out there.
Exactly. I'm trying to get him in on this
Which is probably
one.
why candle podcasts work.
Yeah,
it's because of a lot of not horny old people.
Light them candles before you get it.
Goddamn.
That's one of my favorite things about sex scenes in movies is when they have like 70 candles lit. Somebody who does that. Could you imagine going into a room and there being 70 candles lit?
It's just like hate thirsty. Like I've had like dude friends over before, and like I have a lot of candles in my home. I just like them, but I've had dude friends over before where I'm like, I'm not trying to fuck you. This is just how I live, you know?
And it just looks like a fucking General Hospital sex scene set.
Yes, I know.
That's what your house looks
So
like.
you were pretty set up during the last blackout.
Oh yeah, you're always ready.
I mean,
yeah,
I always
yeah.
got so many candles on hand.
Yeah.
But they're all scented, so you don't want to have them all burning at once.
It's too
then
much.
It's like,
My wife made candles when we were in Pittsburgh. Her and my buddy Nick, real NFer, his girlfriend, who's also real NFer, maybe fiance now too. They went to a store where they got to make their own, and fuck, I love it. And we don't light them because we have a cat and we don't want her to burn alive.
Okay.
But we have the thing that heats them up, and I love it so much.
I know, it's really nice.
I loved taking your fingers and dipping them into the
Oh,
wax
yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
I would fuck around with wax so much.
Me too,
Yeah.
dude. I fucking put
Put
it
it
all
into
in
your
my hand,
ball,
hold
palm.
it,
Yeah.
and then try to crack it off so you have like this little thing.
I just love putting a finger in there and then pulling your finger out and
I know
then
that
seeing
it
it
dries. and
like
you're like,
dry
"What?"
around it.
You
Yeah.
also
On
save
your-
this for my podcast.
Yeah. I want you to
Should
make
have you guys on.
make the second season of your podcast like a serial type thing, and to figure out if that's because like nobody knew ASMR was a thing.
Yeah.
But everybody
yeah.
was getting it and experiencing it at times, and then somebody cracked it. That's got to be something.
Yes.
Where the sensation, I know it's not like it wasn't a sexual feeling. Maybe to some people when they pour wax on stuff, but it was like getting the wax on you, letting it harden,
my comedy,
fucking playing with it. That's
my
a
comedy
thing.
would work great with a candle crowd because it's a lot of slow burns.
Hey, yes.
All right.
Well, actually, I do have a signature sign off for the podcast, and it's may your wicks be trimmed and your burns be slow.
That's great. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, it's so fun and dumb.
That's great. And your album?
Yes, yeah,
Fantastic.
my album's on
Very
iTunes.
good album.
Thank you. It was so much fun, and God, it's been crazy to like get money from.
Yeah.
Like I got a check the other day, and I was like, "Say what?"
It's
like,
the greatest.
yeah, it's remarkable.
We literally
Any money's.
I think we sponsored last week's episode. We started at Jackknife Comedy Records because of that reason. Because we're like,
yeah, I saw that.
instead of waiting around for people to give you something,
Exactly.
let's have some fucking control in this
I know.
business.
I mean, that's what's been
Autonomy.
like.
Yeah.
Like I'm with Little Lamb Recordings, and they're so
that's
wonderful.
fantastic. They're doing Chalet
Yeah,
was
exactly.
who there's no way
They
tonight.
also did George Gordon's album.
That's right.
They did, they did Greg Johnson's album, Katina Correo. They're so wonderful.
Tonight, friend of the show, Chalet was Sharp. She's been on the show. She's recording an album tonight.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
Union
They can't
Hall.
listen. It's too late. Maybe I'll go give them a retweet though. That'll help me.
Yeah, I'm
really
gonna go
boost
to the late
it.
show.
All the NFers. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, my album's on iTunes. It's called Seen Better Days.
Very funny.
And I recorded at the Duplex. It's on
Yeah.
iTunes, Spotify, all that
All
jazz.
this stuff.
And your name's Citizen Kane, right? Or no, wait.
Boy, thanks for wrecking that.
Yeah. Who sang that song? It wasn't Citizen.
I've seen better
Citizen
days.
Cope?
Citizen
oh,
Cope.
God. Oh, barf. Yeah.
No, not Citizen Cope. Citizen King.
Oh.
Citizen Cope was that rapper dude.
Oh.
Yeah, Citizen King. That's what you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
that song's terrible.
Sorry for the derailing riff.
Yeah,
there.
definitely not
No.
railing. Railing makes it sound like you're on board. Derailing is okay. Anyways, and then am I wrong? You've written a book as well, right?
Yeah, I don't talk about it a ton, but hey.
Jesus, sorry, I brought
no,
it
it's
up.
Just, I mean,
trying to
it's
put
funny.
money in your pocket,
I feel
Selena.
like I feel like it's the cherry pie of my life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's funny.
Just sometimes you make something and then you're like, I'm not that proud of this thing.
That's
and
fine.
Well,
Well, then
but yeah.
if you want to see what she's not proud of, go get it. If not, just
Yeah.
buy her album instead.
It's called The New Rules for Blondes. It's just
Yeah.
sort of silly and fluffy,
That's
but
great.
it was interesting. Yeah, I'm most proud of anything I've ever done of my album. Seen Better
Yeah,
Days,
it's so
which is
good.
fun.
It's great. Which is stand up, and that's your,
yeah,
that's what you.
stand up, and then I
for-
got a Guns N' Roses story in there. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
got all my standard stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then
thank
I'm
you
on
so much.
Twitter and Insta. And
What's
all
your
that
Twitter? Yeah,
jazz.
your name.
Yeah, just my name.
Selena
for
Coppock.
both, and then my NYT vows.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's my stuff, and this has been so much fun, you guys. Thank
It
you
was
so much
great.
for
You're
Absolutely.
having me.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Ream, where can the idiots find you out there?
Reamcore with a K. That's REAMKORE. I'm on all the old people social media websites. Check
Yeah.
those out. And also, second Friday of every month, we got House of Bricks Comedy at Precious Metal.
Fantastic.
So 4 of our favorite comics each month. That'll be great.
That's amazing. Listeners, you can find me at Patrick Hasty. That's at PatrickHastie. PatrickHasty.com for all upcoming shows and dates. I believe when this comes out, we have a Jackknife Comedy this Saturday. So the Creek in the Cave in Queens. So go to that. Fantastic lineup. It's really cool. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been sponsoring episodes. We got a good burst of iTunes reviews last week. That was really special. I think on the fun size this week, I think I'm actually going to read them all. Or at least, give you guys all individual shout-outs because that was really sweet. If you like the show and if you haven't been able to, get on the Patreon. $1 gets you something. $5 gets you something. If you want to give us $35,000, that's great. We'd like that too. Tell your friends. Be cool. Never die. And remember, if you're not an NFer,
You're an MFer.
so get the fuck out of here. Let me hear you on the mic again when you're ready. Oh, I like that. Brought their own drink. That's smart.
I know. I bring my own
No, that's the best.
I just love it.
We always buy each other coffees and then forget about the guest every time and just hope nobody says anything.
We offer the finest tap water.
In Bushwick.
I was like, I have a feeling I might need to bring my own drink. To this one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Testes.
Okay, you're good.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, cool. All right.
Welcome to BrainMachineNetwork.com.